bullet.
Mm-hmm.
How much damage are we going to do to the truck? My Yukon.
Exactly.
At 80%, you know, we'll make it.
I feel like we're segueing already.
Yeah.
The trailer loaded will be around 6,200 pounds, probably 6,000.
Okay.
Yukon's rated at 77.
Yeah.
But
that's pretty close to max.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Not really.
It's the stopping and the climbing.
Yeah.
Oh, climbing will be rough.
Climbing will be the slow guy.
Yeah.
And then dropping into Madras, it'll be a roller coaster.
Yeah.
So-
You'll say your brakes on fire.
Oh, yeah.
How much stuff do you
yeah.
actually put in the back of the Yukon?
The kids.
The kids,
four
the wife,
bodies.
him.
Yeah, so we got 650 pounds with the dog.
Okay.
And then a cooler and all your camping stuff, another, say, call it 600 pounds.
So to that number that you added to the trailer, add another 1,000 pounds because you're adding 1,000 pounds to the car too.
Oh, yeah, big time. Yeah, that's with everything.
Yeah.
All in.
You might smoke your brakes coming down.
I'm feeling like I will.
Yeah.
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 Good thing is we're under warranty for another year.
Oh, smoke away.
So we got till February. This will get me through the summer.
Yeah.
And then exercise that warranty and get a new car.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, let's get this thing rolling. We're already halfway through.
No doubt. Exactly.
Shit, we've already got one topic down.
There you
Hooray.
go. All right. Well, everybody, welcome. Thanks for coming. Welcome to the Untitled Car Project podcast. I am Rob Spring.
I am Grant Gonzalez.
And Jeremy Molt.
And we're here with David D'Angelo. I said that correctly? Yes.
You got it.
Awesome. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to getting into some topics. We actually put it out there on social. Got a couple of questions for you from our listeners, so that'll be fun.
Perfect.
What else we got? I wanted to touch on a couple of things as usual right off the top. Mm-hmm. Grant and I plans to go to Crow's Landing for a big autocross event.
We've been planning this for what, 2 months now? A month and a half?
A couple months.
Yeah.
Yeah. You try to plan ahead, right? Because registration fills up. You got to sign up early, all that stuff. And I'll be darned, they canceled it. Last minute, just kind of, oh, I hear a drip. We have a leak.
Gotta put like a paper towel in there.
That's
There we
really
go.
funny. Okay. Anyway, they pulled the plug on us because it's going to be excessively hot.
118.
Yeah, 14 to 18, something like that. Last year, when I was down there, it was 105-ish, somewhere in there. It was plenty smoking hot. But manageable for me. But, I'm not everybody.
Yeah, I'm not used to that heat. We've got guys at times work down in Arizona, in construction for us that do that, and I can't do that. I mean, David, you worked down in the Arizona desert for us when we did that long times ago.
Yeah.
We were stuck in, Lake Havasu City.
Mm-hmm.
We would start work at 3 in the morning and we'd be done at 10 because it was about 125 every day.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Brutal.
Yeah. Anyway, we did all kinds of prep work, all kinds of car work. I know that Grant's been working on his car. I just got mine wrapped up last night.
I thought mine was done, and then I found more stuff.
Well, I thought mine was done a few days beforehand, too, but then I test drove it last night. I was like, well, I'm glad I tested it because I got a couple adjustments to make.
Yeah.
Got it ready to go. I'm going to go to a different event this weekend instead, so at least I'll be driving.
I'm going to try to make it that event or something. I just got to get my car a little bit figured out. We'll talk more about that later on the podcast, what we've done and stuff like that.
Well, all right. What was the other thing? What's that?
Links on Facebook and all that jazz, if they're having trouble finding us right now.
We've got some of those.
Yeah.
Untitled Car Project on Facebook and Instagram.
Untitled Car Pro on Twitter.
Yeah,
X.
I haven't looked at that and I don't know how long, so I have no idea if anything's happening there. I can only do so much during the day.
Okay. Discord?
Discord. Just got a Discord, Untitled Car Project. Sorry. So yeah, group chat, all the things, all the chatty things.
Mm-hmm.
Hit follow, share it with a friend, tell anybody about it. We're trying to build a little bit of a following. It'd be kind of nice.
Jeremy, we have this podcast we're doing. I'm telling a friend right now.
Yeah.
Good job. Good job. Show 14 brought to you by, this is fill in the blank spot. This is where the sponsorship goes.
Okay.
The one we don't have yet.
Oh.
So hint, hint.
Yeah, D'Angelo Auto Sales.
There we go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Brought to you by D'Angelo Auto Sales
Perfect.
this week. Yep.
We'll run your credit card at the end of the show.
Something else I did last weekend. Went to the Formula E race.
I wanted to
PIR.
know about that.
How was that?
It was awesome, actually.
Was it quiet?
Yes, in a way. Definitely the electric motors do make a whining sound, especially under acceleration. It's pretty cool. It's nowhere near an internal combustion engine. You know, you want to hear that scream. But it was something different. It was actually really neat. And I was amazed at how grouped up they stayed. 22-car field. Mm-hmm. And they really didn't spread out. Like, they were in a pack the entire time.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was kind of crazy. We sat right at the turn 1, 2, 3 chicane, and they tried to go through there 3 wide, and there is not room for 3 wide through there. When they hit a curb, it is very evident because there's no motor sound to cover up the crunching of the carbon fiber under the car. When they hit each other and lose wings and stuff, you hear all the carbon fiber breaking and flying off the car.
That's pretty cool.
Wow.
It was cool. It
was neat.
It was really cool. And kind of learned also that aero doesn't matter much on those cars. And I don't know if it's the physical weight of the car that causes them to have enough mechanical grip to still drive it pretty hard. Because one of the Porsches, he was in 15th to 18th, somewhere around there, came into turn 1, got tangled with another car, lost his entire front wing. He didn't pit.
Really?
And he passed his way up to 3rd.
What?
With no front wing.
Wow.
It was really wild. And there were other cars, like the Nissans, they kind of did the same thing. He lost his front wing in turn 1, 2 in a little tangle. Actually went under his front tires and was pushing it down the track, and that was extremely loud. I was surprised how much noise that made. He pitted right away, got a new wing. Didn't even bother not,
How many laps are they doing?
They did 26 laps. So it's not a lot compared to Formula One. That's a sprint race in Formula One.
Because that's like, what, 45 minutes?
It was. Yeah, it was right around there. But it was cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. They did qualifying and...
all on the same day.
Yeah. They did qualifying and sprint heats.
Because traditionally it's like qualifying, they come in on a Friday.
Right.
They do heat races on Saturday.
Well, apparently they raced kind of the same format on Saturday also. So they did it 2 days back to back.
Well, that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
So like Formula E, I looked into like a couple of years ago. Didn't look heavily into it. But 2 things I know they had, I was wondering, Rob, if you knew they still had it, is the speed boosters.
They do.
They do?
Yes.
Did they say where they were at PR? So if those who don't know...
Turn 10.
Okay, so those who don't know, for Formula E, because they're all electric, each car has a GPS plugged into them. And the drivers are allowed to go off the racing line, quote unquote, in certain areas and use like a Mario Kart style horsepower booster, giving you like 30, 40 extra horses.
It's 50 extra horse and front wheel drive.
Yeah, for like 30 extra seconds, something like that, right?
Something like that.
And you're allowed to use that 3 times in the race.
Right. So
like you can go slower on an off turn, but then you get that and now you have way more horsepower.
Yep. And they did it right. The turn, I guess it would be 10, 11. So it's right before 12, which is the final turn before the front straight.
That's
so that
cool.
you go off the racing line through this one section. So it's like DRS in Formula One. And you get this boost of 50 extra horsepower, all wheel drive, and you get that all the way down the front straight. So it really promoted passing and that kind of stuff.
Was it really noticeable when a person like went off? Like you could see just the leap in the pack?
Not from where I was at, because I was down at turn 1, 2.
Yeah.
So there was a big screen that we could see, so we could see what they were doing and that kind of stuff, but really couldn't tell. But there was a lot of passing that happened in the chicane. So cool. That was really cool.
That is awesome.
And then the second thing, I wasn't sure how I felt about this back then. I still, like, if they still have it, is it's like the popularity thing. If they, people vote online for a racer, and if they get a certain amount of likes or whatever, they give them like the same power boost as random point in the race.
Interesting. Yeah. I have no idea about that.
Yeah, that was, again, 3 years ago, and that was one that was like, that just...
a little corny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little corny, kind of cool, except...
interesting. A little too...
except, like, that's power being boosted, right?
Right.
I mean, you're
popularity
using,
contest.
Yeah. Well, no, you're using power from the battery, so...
yeah.
How badly
could
that screw you later down the road?
Like Grant said, they have that 30-second power boost they can use 3 times a race. They have the extra power.
Yeah.
And those cars regen power. Like their brakes. We got to sit by Team Penske. So they were right there in the stands with us. So we were kind of quizzing them about how this stuff works, right? And they have no rear brakes. It's all regenerative motor braking in the rear. And their front brakes are tiny. They're just like little tiny... Yeah, Fiat-sized disc brakes. They're really small.
That's insane.
Yeah.
But how heavy is the car?
I think it was in kilograms, 1,200 kilograms or something like that.
So that's like 2,900 pounds?
Pretty light.
Yeah.
No, I think it's lighter than that.
Is it?
I don't know. I'd have to do the conversion. I asked the same question, but I can't compute kilograms in my head.
Yeah. They're all 6,000-pound BMWs.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Anyway, they use... Their tires are not slicks. They actually have grooves.
Oh, really?
They're not quote-unquote street tires, but they are grooved racing tire.
Like Hoosier's grooved, or are we talking like an RE71 grooved?
Like similar to a Pirelli grooved.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, so they do have a continuous groove all the way around it, and then a couple of horizontal.
Okay.
For lack of a better term, horizontal grooves. Noisy. You could really hear the tires complaining coming into the corners and braking zones and under acceleration.
Is it quiet enough you can hear the drivers curse when something happens?
Probably.
Yes.
Yes, probably.
Some 200 tread wears.
Yeah. It was really cool. I wasn't sure what to expect because I'm not a big electric racing fan.
Yeah.
But it was neat to see. Like, I really enjoyed watching all of them stay in such a tight pack, and their acceleration for an electric cars accelerate really hard. But to see all of those guys coming out of turn 2 into turn 3 under full throttle in a tight group, like wheel to wheel, that was impressive.
That's wild.
It was really impressive.
I got to look at the schedule because I was annoyed that I missed that race because that's one I've been wanting to see. I just didn't know when it was, but I would really like to go see one later on this year.
So you were annoyed when I told you I was going.
Yeah, I was like,
So it's actually next one's in Europe.
Oh, it's Europe? Yeah. Okay, because the one before that was probably in Vancouver, Canada or something, right?
Possibly. I'm not really sure. Yeah.
I think
I didn't even know I was going till like Friday. So no, it was fun. I enjoyed seeing it and would go back. I also want to go to the Indy car race because as I understand it, the Indy cars run about 10 seconds a lap faster.
Oh, really?
And that would be impressive because those guys seemed pretty dang quick.
Yeah.
You know, they were running in qualifying. They got down to the 108s, I think, on that track. So
that's 2 point something miles, right?
It's just under 2, 1.9 something. Okay. Yeah. Yep.
It's moving.
It is moving. Yeah. So it was pretty fun. I enjoyed that. Anybody else have anything fun this last weekend?
Just working on projects.
All the projects.
Constantly working on projects.
Constantly working on projects. Oh, the Ford owner yays.
Yeah. Ford owner. You should probably fix that one of these days.
Yeah.
So funny.
All right. Well, let's get into David's background, shall we?
Sure. What are you guys looking at?
Well, let's start with D'Angelo Motors. Like, how long you been doing that, and how did that come about? Yeah.
So, really, what happened? My dad's been doing it for 45 years.
Okay.
And I grew up around it. As a kid, he'd be, bringing new cars home all the time, and in my mind, he didn't really work.
Yeah.
He just had new cars all the time.
Cars. Yeah.
And that was pretty exciting.
Yeah.
So after going to college, came back and, it was like time to get a real job or, maybe I could help him out.
Good family business.
Yeah. And the internet was evolving at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So he was primarily wholesaling prior to actually having a dealership, at which point I was like, well, why aren't you on the internet? Why aren't we doing this? Why aren't we doing that? And he said, if these are things you'd like to move into, show me a business plan that would have legs and we can check it out. So we went full bore at it and grew with, Craigslist and Autotrader.com.
Yeah.
Those came out in the early 2000s. This is, it feels like yesterday, but totally changed how people shop for cars. And it allowed us to work off a small footprint, low overhead, and go direct to consumer. And it's been working great.
Yeah.
So
you were kind of right at the beginning of the electronic boom of selling cars online or through
I looked like a genius right out the gate. Yeah. You build a website, you put some stuff on online, and people are buying cars out of California. How'd they find you?
Yeah. That's
cool. And now,
every
single week, we're shipping cars all over the country.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. They're buying stuff sight unseen and just shipping set up and ready to go.
Right. Yeah. Wow. We do everything. We do a video tour of every car right when it comes in.
Yeah.
So everybody gets the same presentation.
Yeah.
And then if you're not physically coming to our store, say you're in Tennessee, like guy this week, we require that you have a third party unbiased.
Come look at it.
Oh,
that's smart.
Keeps transparency, keeps the trust. They know when they get their car, it's going to be what I said it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've yet to have an issue.
That's awesome.
And it's just changing the game.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Well, it's opened up your audience.
Completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can move
instead of just regional, you now are as far as the mind can travel, right?
Yeah, exactly. So. We were like stuck to only Portland, maybe Vancouver.
Right.
And now everybody.
What's the furthest you've shipped a car?
A month ago, we shipped a car down to the Florida Keys.
Oh, okay.
And that's about as far as you can get.
Yeah, it is. From here.
It's deep.
From here, right?
Yeah. Maryland, Long Island, New York. Yeah, all over the place.
So I did take a look at your website, and you specialize in just European mostly?
Primarily European. We're like 60% European, I would say. We like those cars.
Yeah.
So we kind of sell what we like.
Yeah.
Enthusiast driven.
Mm-hmm.
But I've opened up to cars that are for everyone, I suppose.
Okay.
So I have stuff to sell.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would rather drive a European car myself personally.
Yeah. That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
I also know for a while you guys were like one of the largest sellers for smart cars. Is that still true to this day?
It is, yeah. I'm probably one of the biggest smart car dealers on the West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
So we always keep, 15 to 20 of those in stock. And those we ship everywhere.
Yeah.
Those are wild. Those blow my mind every time I sell one.
Mm-hmm.
And we sell them all the time. Yeah.
Nice.
Those are fun.
Is there a certain time of year that is better sales than others? Like,
generally, March is really when it picks up.
March Madness.
Yep. March Madness, March, and then it basically roars through summer and then relaxes again in the fall. And then you get your holiday rush. So we only really have like 2 or 3 significant slowdowns, and then it's full throttle.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty
That's why I was late
steady.
today.
Yeah. Selling cars.
Just selling cars, baby.
Yeah. No doubt.
Exactly.
So early on, you had mentioned kind of a broker. Do you broker cars? Somebody come to you and say, I'm looking for a specific this or that, or can you find that for that person? And
all the time. Yeah. I have a running list constantly of people.
Yeah.
Looking for niche cars.
Yeah.
Especially guys like you.
Project cars.
Project cars.
Yeah.
I mean, I always get people, you ever see RX-8s or, you know, I'm looking for a Miata because I'm going to track it, but it's got to be XYZ,
Right. Very specific.
Yeah. S2000, the AP ones. And if you find one of those, call me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, yeah. So I'm sending selfies of myself in front of cars when I'm walking the auction all the time.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Yeah.
Are you interested in this? Or how about this one? Or
totally, yeah. And it can be, very entry level, whatever.
Yeah.
Because usually when the guys are racing cars, they want base, nothing in it. They're going to strip it down and destroy it.
Basically, yeah. They're going to modify it the way they want it.
They're going to just make it theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or, and then I get other people who are looking for a brand new Chevy Tahoe. Mm-hmm. And they don't want to go to the dealership. They don't want to deal with, what comes when you typically go to a dealer.
Right.
So that's where I kind of bridge the gap. Like even today, we just sold a brand new RAV4 hybrid and a brand new Chevy Equinox EV, which was first time selling one of those, but it's a pretty cool car.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that kind of brings up what we had a listener question, right?
Yeah.
The EV question. You remember that one?
The EV question.
Yes.
I'm going to pull up my notes.
You got it? Or no? I'll look it up.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll look it up.
Okay.
You do have it.
Jared. I got to move my microphone.
Okay.
It looks like Jared Roberts asked, what do they think the push for EV will mean? Okay.
He needs glasses too.
Yeah.
What do they think the push for EV will mean for the dealership business?
It's a funny question because through the last 2 years in particular, especially like as COVID was going on, they were full court pressing EV sales. And I think there's definitely a space for electric cars, and people who, have certain commutes and lifestyles can definitely use them. But also there's a lack of infrastructure that doesn't
sounds like a broken record.
It doesn't allow for a mass market product like that. It's kind of interesting. So there's players like Tesla who have it down pat. They've got their market. They've got their iPhone users who buy the Tesla to match.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you got the government behind saying, hey, EVs are the future. This is all we're doing.
Yeah.
But I want to drive to Texas right now.
Exactly.
Right, yeah.
I don't want to have to stop for hours for charging.
California has, what is it? A law saying by 2030,
2035.
they have to,
Is it 35?
they can only sell EV or something like that, right?
Something like that.
Yeah, it's unrealistic.
It's so
insane.
unrealistic. It's dumb.
They can't keep their air conditioners on in the summer.
Yeah,
and they want
let's charge
everybody to
cars.
have chargers for their cars.
Rolling
Give me a break.
blackouts because everybody's trying to charge a car so they can go to work in the morning.
Okay. I'm going to say this now because I just remembered it. The coolest thing I've seen all week for a vehicle.
You can't hold that?
I can't.
Okay.
I can't. The coolest thing I've seen all week for vehicle, and I just remembered it because honestly, when we were talking before the show, I did not have one because I didn't see anything cool. I did see this online. There is a country, I want to say it's
Texas.
No, it's in the
It's the size of a country.
Yeah.
It's like the UAE or
UAE.
yeah.
Okay. United Arab
Emirates.
Emirates.
They have lanes that are
Specific to electric
cars, and they are induction charging lanes.
Oh, that's cool.
I've wondered if that would ever become a thing.
Yeah.
It's totally a thing, and that's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's going to be so much money.
But again,
but
the infrastructure.
Yes.
Yeah.
First of all,
billions and billions and billions.
yeah, because how are we getting our electricity? We're getting it from burning coal.
Mhm.
Okay.
Hydroelectric.
Hydroelectric
wind.
out here, but
Yeah.
once you cross into
Yeah.
the Midwest, what do we have?
Corn.
Yeah, we need
Lots of
windmills.
something else.
Yeah.
So
It's pretty
answer me
interesting.
this. How is California going to do that? They can't,
That is a question for Gavin Newsom.
right? They can't even support their own structure now with the power grid that they have. How are they going to add
They're buying
more
power from everybody else.
Yeah, how are they going to add more to the roads? They can't.
Right.
And the reason the United Arab Emirates did it is because they've got billions of dollars in
They've got fuel money,
yeah.
oil, selling it to the United States.
Weird.
Yeah.
I think I saw 3 Ford F-350s parked out front.
Oh, that's
Okay.
weird. Wonder where those came
That's
from.
kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I want to ask you something.
Yeah.
Did you notice the colors?
I did notice it, and that made me so happy because I have the biggest American flag flying at my shop,
Yeah.
and I saw a red, white, and blue one, baby. Yeah, that was awesome.
That's pretty funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
I parked a red car in front of Grant's, so
Mhm.
yeah,
That's a fun little car.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you mentioned people looking for specific race cars and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Do you find, and maybe you don't have any of these or take these in, but do you find modified cars harder to sell than a stock anything?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
So I prefer to sell OE, everything just stock,
Yep.
because that allows you an open platform to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
On occasion, I'll get cars that are tuned. Like the other day, I got an 08 R32. Haven't seen one of those in
Wow,
forever.
that's cool.
Yeah, it was a sweet car.
Yeah.
And the guy I took it in on trade from gave me just a stack of receipts with the tune, the exhaust, the suspension, all the stuff he did to it. It was
Yeah.
like 12 grand worth of stuff on a $10,000 car.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You still have that car?
Now I launched that car. I
It's gone already.
put it out there and it was gone in a
Instantly. I'll bet
minute.
it was.
Because
that's
it was a lot of horsepower for the
Yeah.
money and
Oh, yeah.
all-wheel drive. It's such a fun little car.
Yeah.
So in that case, it went away. But like I had somebody give me a BRZ. Remember those?
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Do
They're
they still make
still out
those?
there,
Yeah.
yeah.
They're still
Yeah,
there.
I'm not a
Yeah.
big Subaru guy or whatever those are.
Right.
But it was just very molested. It was
over the top.
just
molested,
over the top,
Yeah.
and not done by a guy who actually raced. It was done by like a teenager tuner guy,
Right.
and it was obvious.
Mm-hmm.
That thing was tough to sell.
I'll bet it was.
So,
But
like,
yeah,
did you at all try to modify it back to stock then? Or did you just keep it? Like,
I just put it cheap and launched it. I
Yeah.
mean, like, because like
just get your money back.
they,
and
yeah,
leave it
just
alone.
roll them. You kind of
Yeah.
got to do a cost benefit analysis on some of them, and
Yep.
there's a line.
I'm sure
Yeah.
there is. Yeah. A
Yeah.
car like that. And I think that's buyers don't want to take a chance on a car like that,
Yeah.
you know, because you don't know how it's been modified, especially when it really looks like it was done by a teenager with no money.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know what you're going to find.
But you got a good idea.
Mhm.
And
bad. You're going to find bad.
You're going to find bad.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting because your mind can start reeling
Yeah.
and you can just imagine who drove it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
I'm sure those would be hard to sell.
they're tough. Yeah.
now, correct me if I'm wrong,
He will.
but
Oh.
if a teenager goes out and buys something like this and they do a bunch of stuff to it, right? And then they get 18, 19 years old. They now own the car. Parents gave them the title, whatever. And they come to you and they want something new. How many times do they look at that car and go, well, I've got all these extra parts on it. It's worth more.
Yeah. And it's always worth less
Oh, yeah. It's,
every time.
Yep.
So if
Oh, yeah.
if a car is worth $15,000, it comes in with all these extra parts on it. Do you look at it and go, I am not giving him 15 for this?
Oh, right. Especially,
maybe 12.
yeah, you really have to make an adjustment
Yeah.
because 9 times out of 10, those type of modifications are devaluing that
Yeah.
car
Mhm.
Mhm.
all day.
Is there some exceptions? Like if you get, like, say, a Mustang with a supercharger, or if you get something like a professional body kit that was like a rare option from like a really well-known like tuner company, or
Something done professionally.
Yeah.
I would think.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think a body kit wouldn't matter so much, but like engine
Depends on how it's
modifications,
done.
100%.
If you get the BRZ with a body kit that was bolted on by,
Oh,
The
yeah.
neon lights,
Joe
the big
Deck
Schmo.
it's
screws.
different.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Or real cheap lift kits on trucks.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. What
and you
about
turn it and it creaks.
Oh,
Yeah.
about-
Oh, yeah.
That was what I was going to ask. Now, what about trucks, though? Like, because that's the one thing is a lot of people throw a lot of money at trucks, where there's
Yeah.
wheels, big tires, lift, full down, automatic steps. Like, does that increase
Those
the
are
value, or is
options,
that?
though.
That's a totally different market. And those
Yeah.
typically go up because 9 times out of 10 on those,
Mhm.
it's a pavement princess.
Mhm.
oh yeah,
You know?
true.
Like, who actually spends all that money and
And goes
actually
off-road.
goes to Brown's Camp and just destroys their truck? The
right.
body is perfect. You know that car never left
Yeah.
the parking
Do
lot.
you have a guy that looks at your vehicles before you purchase, or do you do it?
So I do it. My dad also is our buyer.
Yeah.
So we pre-inspect every car, but then once we buy them, we have a mechanic who goes through the car.
And that's not me.
Yeah.
It's not
So-
Grant.
Do you
Yeah.
guys like jump under there with a flashlight just to make sure there's not a big glob of mud way up underneath somewhere?
Oh yeah, you have
Okay.
to. Yeah, I mean that's like
Because I wouldn't trust me.
it's called basically flashlight inspection is number 1.
Yeah,
And then once it passes that, okay, we plug it in, make sure we know it's real.
Yeah.
And then take it to the mechanic and let them kind of go through it. Because every car, if it's not an electric car, gets an oil change, gets a safety inspection.
Mhm.
If it needs something, it's leaking from somewhere, it needs a battery, tires, brakes, all that stuff's very common. Kind of get that going. That way I know confidently that car will be safe for whoever buys it.
yeah,
Yeah.
Because my name's driving around on every
yeah.
single
You
car.
can't take
literally.
that reliability.
Yeah.
yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, I see people over at Costco after they bought the car a month later, and they're like, "Oh,
Hey, David!
hey, what's up?" I want a hey, what's up? I don't want a hey, fuh.
yeah.
What's up?
Yeah.
Dude.
That could go two ways. And I have kids, and I live locally. Like you got to be on it.
Yeah.
So I'm a little
That's
bit.
valid.
I'd rather make a little bit less money, but no, I can sleep well.
Yeah.
Big difference.
That's
And on
valid,
that
super
same
valid.
token, I mean, you want that guy to come back too, right? I mean,
Huge.
repeat business.
Oh man,
is
yeah.
giant.
If they have a good experience and like the car they got and feel like they were treated fairly, that's huge.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Really, for
I
bringing people back.
I can tell you right now, the car my wife owns, the dealership we bought it from, we will never go back to.
Yeah, that's
And
a
that's
bummer.
crazy.
And
yeah.
we've purchased a lot of vehicles from this place, right? Like,
And they burned the trust.
yeah,
Yeah,
right up.
in one car.
Yeah.
All we asked them to do was fix the inner fender liner and the noise in the back of the car that it was making, because it obviously had a tire blowout or something at some point, and it ripped the inner fender out.
Simple.
Right. It was a simple fix. I did it myself in, like an hour.
You with that.
Oh, maybe you did.
I did it myself means I had Grant do it, and I watched.
No.
Yeah, I get it. I do that all the time.
Can I hand you a beer?
There you go. Yeah.
I do.
Sure. I'll hold the flashlight.
I do most of my stuff, most things on the cars for myself. But there's still a noise in it.
Yeah.
And I can't figure out what it is.
Ghost.
I'm pretty sure I have a good idea of what it is. There's something in the way the suspension is connected that is making it go clunk, 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 clunk.
Oh, yeah.
And it's only in the back where that tire blew out.
Yeah.
So, but that's not the point. The point is
You asked
that
them to
dealership should have made it right, and they said they would, and they hemmed and hawed, and we called them, and we called them, and we called them, and finally I'm like, fuck it. I am buying the part myself and never going back. And my wife left an awful review for them.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, what can we do to make it right? You could fix the car.
Yeah, you
and
had
they
that
never
opportunity.
did.
Yeah.
They never did.
That's why that dealership never goes to Costco anymore.
Yeah.
They don't want to see him there.
They don't see him. Yeah.
Well, that's a dealership that people fly through.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like they're not going to come back and see David in 10 years. Right? They're going to probably see 30, 40, 50 different salespeople.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing, too. There. We run those metrics pretty tightly, and over 40% of my business right now is return and referral.
Nice.
As a result, you got to take care of people.
Yeah. I'm going to give him some.
I mean, it's huge. It's worth way more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's put these on each car.
For real. It's crazy.
So, has there ever been a car come in, you either got it in trade or you got it at auction, that was so good you just wanted to keep it for yourself?
Every day.
I was
that's
wondering.
The hardest
that's kind of tied
about
into
my job.
Because I was going to ask you too, does it ruin it for you? Because you see these cars, but you have to let them go, and it's like,
it's so weird. It's okay. Right when I started working with my dad, he said, "You have to act like we're selling refrigerators, and you don't care about them." Because
that's good advice, though.
Yeah, because I have so many cars just in my bank that I've had for in inventory or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was in love. I'm I had a 2012 Nissan GTR Black Edition.
Oh, yeah.
Wanted to keep that one.
I can see why.
That was a sick car.
Wow.
Yeah. 911 GTS. Loved that car.
Yep.
Oh my God. That car's a car I really wish I still had.
Yeah.
I had what year is it? I think it was an 07 BMW Z4 M Coupe.
Okay.
Very rare. They made 1,800 of them or so.
Wow.
I sold that car 3 different times because every time I sold it, I asked the person for first option to buy it back when they were done.
Really?
And 2 times they did that. And then the last time I sold it, I shipped it out of state. So I think that car lives in Ohio now.
Oh.
Yeah. So I don't think I'll see it ever again. But it was the Bond car. Per my recollection, there was only 2 in that exact build because it had the certain gray exterior with the brown leather seats. Oh, yeah, that was a hot one.
That's an old man color, but I freaking love it.
When you're in it, you're James Bond.
No, that's
you
the best.
are. Yeah, that car. Oh man, that car has me still.
So is that the most memorable car you've gotten through the lot?
That one,
your C8s that you've had, that one.
I've had 5 C8s.
Yeah.
Those are different though, because they're
they're brand new.
Newer. Yeah. You still see them all over. The cool thing with that Z4, you don't ever see them.
Yeah.
You never see that
Especially
car.
if you know it's a super rare car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's got to be the M.
Yeah.
There's tons of Z4s out there.
Sure.
Yeah. Or, had a couple S2000s that were pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And when you figure out how to drive them too, that is when you cross the line.
That's when you realize what you have.
It's not inventory anymore. You're oh, you're special.
Yeah.
And I'm in love with you.
Yeah.
And so I could keep, I could
all
just go all day.
It just happens all the time.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah.
So how often do you get one in and go, I'm not going to put that on the floor quite yet. I'm going to drive it for a week.
Okay. Another killer question. I don't know if Grant keyed you up or what, but I've been driving a 2021 Toyota Supra for the last 12 months or so. I don't know. I think maybe 11 months I've had it.
Yeah.
I haven't put it for sale yet. It now has 4,100 miles on it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I picked it up and I haven't been able to quite get rid of it yet.
And it's just not a normal Supra, too. The guy who had that, like, made it more than just, oh, here's a Supra. He put, like...
Is it a GR?
It is.
Yeah, and it's got so many upgrades in it,
on
too.
steroids.
Yeah.
So you're driving a BMW.
Well,
I'm driving a little BMW.
Well, yeah.
He's still driving Bond.
Yeah.
How many miles did it have when you got it? Did you say?
I think 800.
Oh,
Yeah.
brand new.
And
Brand new.
It's out here right now.
Yeah.
It's out front. Yeah.
Oh, we'll be looking at
You
that
probably
later.
heard me come in.
Maybe I can talk my wife into trading the car she has.
There
for
you
it.
go. Yeah.
It's not on the market yet.
It's
Yeah.
on the market.
It's not for
Yeah.
Everything's on the market.
I like to keep a cool car around, and that seems to be the car at the moment. Last year I had a C8 that was kind of like drive around car, but that car, the difference is those C8s are bigger, they're bulkier.
Yeah.
There's a lot more going on.
Mhm.
As a daily driver, the little Supras, it's like a little, you can park anywhere.
Yeah,
You
fits a lot better.
You'd
In
like-
and out of traffic a lot better.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You'd like my wife's car too.
What's she driving?
It's the 2020 RC350 F Sport,
Oh,
Lexus.
those are
Yeah.
sick. Yeah, I like those a lot.
and it's in an incognito color. It's like that gold silver color.
Oh yeah.
So
Cops don't ever look at that. Yeah.
and it flies.
Mhm.
Interesting. Yeah. The C8s, are you just getting the base Stingrays, or have you gotten a Z06 on the lot yet?
I haven't
Or
seen
an
a
E-Ray.
Z06 yet. The only
Take a turn in that when you get one.
yeah, I've
Yeah.
heard those are next level.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
unreal the performance you get with the Z06
Yeah.
on the C8s. Like, we have a person that's in our racing group, and when he had that stock he was on his first race, he was putting top times a day on that or
Mhm.
near it, and now
Near,
he's
yeah.
still competing on that.
Here's what I'll say about that car.
Mm-hmm.
Joe is fast.
That yes,
Joe's
Joe is
fast no
fast.
matter what he drives,
Yeah.
but that car has serious performance.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
The first time he got in it and drove it on the autocross, he mashed that gas to the floor and spun out
yeah,
in a straight line.
Awesome.
Yes.
yeah.
So
Period.
when you get into that car and mash the gas, roll in, roll out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Roll into that throttle like give it love, but
Yeah.
roll in like
Just don't
Like
turn
it's
all
your
the
first
nannies
time.
off.
Oh yeah.
Like
Oh,
David,
yeah.
I've been in a
That's
bunch
true.
of supercars.
Yeah.
I really think currently on the market, there's no better supercar or super killer right now than the Z06. Like, it is an extreme car.
Yeah, I mean that's what it's built for, is to compete with that.
It's gonna be interesting. We have the ZL1,
Z51.
the the ZR1 coming out in 28.
Yeah,
That's gonna be interesting to see how that will compare then. Whole step above.
supposedly.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the E-Ray is pretty capable. It weighs more, but the
We still haven't seen one of
benefit
those.
you get out of the electric motors, apparently. I mean, I haven't seen one either, but from what I've read and heard, it handles itself quite well.
Electric power, I mean, back to that,
Yeah,
Mhm.
is striking. I mean, when
Yeah.
you mash on an electric car,
instant.
it's
Yeah.
wild. And it's a different sensation, too, because
That's what I've heard.
when you jump on anything that is combustion,
Mhm.
you hear it, your mind kind of takes a second, thinks about it, and then you feel the lurch. Electric car, you're there.
Yeah, it just goes right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Like, there is always a lag for combustion, even when you do have a good responding car. Like you said, you hear it first, and you're like, okay, here it comes, and you're prepared for it.
All your senses are working.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Electric car, all of a sudden you're going 100 and you can't,
like,
your stomach's in
didn't
the
know
back
that was
seat.
happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
For sure.
Yeah.
No, that's pretty cool.
All right, I got one more question from Jared that I wanted to ask.
Do it.
So, David, what do you think about the big three auto dealers offering their own aftermarket parts that, if installed at the dealership, retains the factory warranty?
I think that really will help anybody who's, wanting to tune a car but afraid to buy a brand new car.
But, yeah, because of warranty.
I talk to people often, actually, and they're like, oh, yeah, I'm going to buy this car and I want to track it, but I don't want to take that step and void my warranty because
Yeah.
it is also my daily driver.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that has huge benefit and will put a little bit of competitive edge against all the, aftermarket places.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. To be able to actually get modified parts for your car and still maintain warranty. It does cost you a little more because you got to have a dealer do it and that kind of stuff. But if you're that into it, that's okay.
Right. And if your warranty's intact, now when you blow that motor up or you well, you guys did the work. You did the work. Yeah.
Exactly.
Tranny couldn't handle it. It's what it is.
It isn't warranty.
That's right.
So is there anybody that does that now?
Ford does that with their Ford Performance program.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Ford Performance is big.
Yep.
Chevy, Dodge,
I know they sell aftermarket parts on that, but you have to install them all, I believe.
Really?
Well, like with the Hellcat, for example, that's discontinued, but you can still buy everything, including the body, the engine, everything you wanted to, even a roller from Dodge. It's in their...
but that's not necessarily aftermarket, performance, right?
Oh, okay.
I mean, you could buy it all. But if you're installing it yourself, can't be any warranty on that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that Chevy does. I don't know what they offer. There's got to be some kind of performance program with the Camaro and the Corvette, but...
That would be interesting.
I'm unaware.
That'd be really interesting.
But I know
does
Ford
Corvette have a warranty off the line?
Yeah. You have to follow certain break-in procedures and guidelines, and it's all computer recorded. So if you don't follow those guidelines, it voids your warranty.
Oh, really?
Does it void it if you track the car?
Don't know.
Oh, I would guess it did.
Guaranteed.
It's
I don't know, but I bet you guaranteed.
It's weird because there's some companies that have been like for example, there was a big debate.
Ford advertises tracking their cars.
Yeah, well, they had the Shelby Cobra,
Yeah.
the GT350, and that one when they started tracking the basic one, they had overheating differentials, and there was a lawsuit on that. There was Toyota with the GR86. They advertised as drift cars, showed it drifting, and people started doing it. They had the
overheating differential.
Well, not just
they do that
they
too.
Had the oil pickup tubes were getting the RTV in there and blowing your engines. And people were like, we're not warranting this. Like, but you advertise this as a track car.
Yeah.
Here's your commercials. You're saying this is it. It can capably do this, and if it's not doing what you're showing it can do, false advertising.
So, listener, if you work for one of the big three,
they don't. But okay.
In a division that could actually speak to this, get a hold of us. We'd love to have you on and pick your brain.
Yeah.
I
know what you mean about tracking, voiding warranties, but like the Corvette is built for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think there's certain instances that it does not void it. It could be way off base, but just from what I've read and seen, I think there are certain because you can even go to Chevy's introduction in, what is it, green, drawing a blank, Dearborn, where they take you to a track to learn how to drive a Corvette and this and that. It's at a track.
Right.
And it's specifically for that.
Exactly. And I think like Porsche has that with the Porsche Experience down.
Yeah. BMW, I know.
All of
Ford does that.
Yeah. So
maybe we're way off base. Maybe.
No, I mean, it would be an interesting conversation.
That's part of not knowing jack shit. We're just assuming.
Just rapping over it.
Yeah, exactly. So
operator error.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it
Hey, if
was.
I'm wrong, so I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. And we would
get a hold of me and tell me. I don't
we
know.
would take more than the big three too. If you work for any auto company that does that.
I mean, definitely some of them
Yeah.
don't want you to track their cars, but I think the ones that are specifically built for it, like the new Ford Mustang with the GTD and the GTR, those are specific track cars.
Yeah.
But you can also, they're street legal.
Which makes it so awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's a sweet car.
Like the Hyundai Stingray.
Hyundai Stingray.
Yeah.
You lost me.
Stinger.
Stinger.
Yeah.
Oh, that little CRX looking thing. That one?
No. Those are the big one, right?
Yeah, it's a bigger car. They're turboed. I'll pull it up for you.
You might think it's a Maserati from 100 feet away, and then you're like, oh,
it's a Hyundai.
Oh, yeah.
So disappointing.
Sad.
Yeah. So you had mentioned trucks a little bit. That's a whole different animal. Do you deal in trucks too?
I dabble.
Okay.
Yeah,
on the occasion.
On the occasion for the right guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For the Gonzalez.
Yeah, for the Gonzalez. For certain times I'll get them. Yeah. I don't go after trucks. There's guys who are specific to buying them, lifting them, putting the big wheels on, dolling them up. Mm-hmm. I just don't have the capacity for that, and I'm not really interested in that, and I don't have the parking for that.
Yeah.
But I get
You've got your market, and you're just like, stay there. Stay in our lane.
People know me for my, European.
Yeah.
And that's who keeps coming back. So that's what I'm.
Favorite European car?
Every time Porsche.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any
Do you have a lot of Porsches?
I don't have a lot.
Yeah.
I try to keep them around. But they're, every time I get one, they drive so different than every other car.
It's that rear engine.
It's the rear engine. And they're just like, they're their own thing.
It's a Genesis.
It's a Kia.
Oh,
it's a Kia Stinger.
Oh.
It's one of the only
There's
cars.
the confusion right there. That's like not a bad looking car.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For your little daily
I'd be afraid to track that thing though and explode it in
sedan.
half a minute.
It's got like the
I
front
don't
end
know
of
if
the
I wouldn't track that.
Like, it has no reason to be on a track.
No, I wouldn't track that.
But it's a twin turbo V6.
I mean, that'd be good for an autocross car.
No, I don't think so.
No?
No.
That'd be good to, get to soccer practice on time.
Exactly.
Mm.
Yeah. And tell your kids that don't get your damn muddy feet on my seats.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No eating in the back seat.
Right.
What's up?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Swing around with that hand, backhand them.
Yeah, exactly. Those wheels aren't bad.
No,
Yeah,
actually, that's not
really
a bad stock wheel, is it?
Considering we're talking about a Kia.
Right.
I've got problems with Kias and Hyundais.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know you do. You bring it up every episode. I know it's there.
Okay.
Every episode.
I don't bring it up.
Go ahead and ask. You're going to do it anyway.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask. What am I asking?
Yeah, about your Hyundai Kia stuff.
I just don't.
I thought this was going a different direction.
Yeah.
Oh,
This just got dark.
I know it did.
I don't know. Maybe I didn't write it down.
Oh, I saw it on the show notes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
okay, let's see. It was under this one.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah.
Grant's question. I'm going to preface this
Okay.
because he asks it all the time.
Right.
He wants to know when will Korean and Chinese cars be worth buying?
Yeah.
He's very concerned about Korean Chinese cars.
I've had nothing but mechanical friends like in the last 10 years. Hyundai and Kias.
You're stuck in the old times, man.
They
Get up to
consistently
speed.
throw cylinders through the walls of the engine block. I'm like, ah.
I suppose it just depends on the user.
Yeah.
There's a market for that car.
Yep.
That guy likes the idea of a Camry. For whatever reason, the Camry's too expensive. He just bought a Kia.
Okay.
He's not worried about it wearing out in 6
no.
years.
And if they have like 100,000 mile powertrain warranty or
Think
something?
so.
For like the last 10 years,
they do.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Like, for example, my neighbor, he has a Hyundai 2019. Just before 100,000 miles, 98,000 miles, need a new engine.
He missed his sales
And the
window.
driver,
Perfect.
and they were trying to do a recall onto it and say, drive it for a couple more thousand miles. He was able to fight him and say, because they wanted him over that 100,000.
Yeah.
Stopped it and they're like, no, you know what, this is actually never good enough. I think it was like 2 months of going back for a dealership. And then they finally decided to replace the engine.
Brand new car. Start from scratch. Let's go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true. They do have 100,000 and 10-year warranty, but my thing is like, how many cars do we know that have 200, 300,000 miles on them? Some people just don't let go, but
Also, if you know that you're buying a cheap car right out the gate and it has a shelf life of 100,000 miles.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
You bought what you
Sell
know
it
you
before
bought.
you get to 100,000.
Exactly. Bail out.
Yeah.
Trade it into the dealership.
Sounds like any Volkswagen on the road.
There you go.
The same thing.
True.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same thing.
For real.
Geo Metro, 100,000 miles. They all break down. It's the same thing.
That's what it is.
That's when you put a Hellcat
It's a
in
cheap car.
Yeah.
You get what you pay for kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. Subarus, you're going to have to replace head gaskets.
It's a fact.
Every 20,000 miles.
As a fact. David taught me that one.
Clockwork.
Like
Yeah.
clockwork.
Yeah.
So,
And if you don't know that,
don't own a Subaru.
Shocking.
Yeah,
Like,
shocking. What?
check.
You're going to learn soon.
You're not from the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
No, apparently not.
You're going to learn
So,
today.
I don't know.
Right.
You keep railing against the Korean and Chinese cars.
I just want to know when.
I feel like you need
Never.
to own one for a little bit. I think like you would look. What are those? XB or X? What are those little?
Cube.
XP's is
Yeah,
talking
Soul,
about the
Kia
Scion?
Soul.
Kia Soul.
Yeah,
the
Grant,
half
you need a
wraparound
Kia
rear
Soul.
wheel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You need a manual.
As
Kia
long as it's got
Soul.
the spinners
They
on
make
it.
a manual?
They make a manual.
Wow.
That's
Oh,
actually
yeah.
pretty epic.
That's funny.
And I'll tell you, the manual is a hard one to sell.
Really? Why?
People can't drive manual.
Think about the
Okay.
buyer who's looking for
Yeah.
a Kia Soul to begin
That
with.
sounds like a teenage
you
kid.
burn a clutch out instantly.
Yeah, that kid is 15, 16 years old. They don't need their manual.
How do I do that? What's
Yeah,
this
what
thing?
is this thing?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Grant,
They're
if-
trying to gram it in there without pressing the clutch.
Just grinding.
Yeah,
grinding.
Why does it do this?
I kind of want to autocross that. That just sounds really fun.
If Grant buys a Kia, what is that?
Soul.
Kia Soul. If he buys one of those, I will put a stereo in it for you. I am not pulling it up.
No. Here,
I know what it looks like.
Okay, that's fine. If we're buying a Kia, if I'm getting a Kia Soul, it has to have one requirement: giant anime girls on the side of it.
You can do whatever you want to it.
I think they come like that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's how they come from the factory.
Most people peel them off, but I mean, you can leave it.
I will put the stereo in it for you.
Love the stereo, the spinner, and the giant anime girls. Should we put the underglow too? I think it'll be good.
Whatever you want. I'll do it. I will do that work for you.
Oh, man. Okay, that's one less thing on my project.
All right, so you said a Kia Soul is great for a kid, right? Mm-hmm. What other cars are we seeing for kids? Do you get those kind of shoppers?
I get those shoppers all the time. It's funny, too, because there's a interesting swing because you've got, people who are looking for a cheap kids car, and then you have people who are looking for a safe kids car. And there's, as different demographics come, it kind of changes who's looking for what. So we sold a car the other day. It was like 80,000 mile Honda Civic or something. Kind of quintessential first car.
Yeah.
Jettas, Golfs, Volkswagen Golfs, just cheap $10,000 to $15,000 cars. But then I sold a $35,000 Audi A6 for this kid for his first car.
Wow.
Because he was 6'2", and Dad wanted him in a nice car.
Wow.
Stroked a check. Wow. So, lucky kid, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you get them all.
I wonder how much he's going to appreciate or not that car.
Do you ever see still parents buying kids like the cheap first car, like the $2,000, the $5,000 cars?
That market is dried up.
Yeah.
To find a car under $5,000 these days.
That's drivable.
And because what are the requirements for a first car? Safety, reliability, fuel efficient. You want certain things to know that when he or she leaves the house, they're coming back.
Yeah.
And it's not going to break the bank because what kid has any money usually?
This is interesting because we had a conversation last week about
budget cars for lemons.
Not the Gumball.
No.
Gambler.
The Gambler 500.
Yeah.
The Gumball. It's the Gumball 500.
That's what smart cars.
So, if you're saying you can't buy even a halfway decent car for $5,000, $2,500 or the $500 that they allot for those things. Oof.
Yeah.
Well, you've seen those too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the Gambler 500 cars are rats.
Oh, yeah.
We had one at the studio last week.
Yeah, they're awesome. They're kind of fun.
But that
poor
car,
guy.
if that was on
that thing broke down.
Oh,
the next day.
Of course it did. It was $500.
Well,
I think his was a little bit more than that.
Yeah, a little bit more.
I would have paid probably $3,000 to $4,000 from that if it was sitting on a lot for the kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll bet it's worth more than that.
Probably.
I'll show you the picture with David.
But how do you get into that if you're supposed to spend $500 on a car?
That was our whole conversation too. Is $500 doesn't get it anymore?
Right.
We looked up some for $1,500.
That maybe. So $2,000, $2,500 would be better, but you're still not getting much for that.
Yeah.
300,000 mile car.
5,000 a better number for that then?
Yeah, the new number is like 10.
Yeah,
right.
It's crazy.
It's pretty rough.
And now, with interest rates and everything where they're at, $10,000 means $200 a month.
Yeah.
Because most households of people that I'm talking to,
and that's not a 5-year loan.
No, they don't have a 10 G's to drop on their kid tonight.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Most families.
Let alone $35,000.
Then
let alone $35,000.
Audi.
I know.
So then, does that make it?
I would like an Audi.
It was a nice car,
right?
When I took that car in, I kind of get every car I look at, I'm like, this is who's going to buy this car. And
is that who you picked?
Never.
Not even
close. The guy I thought was 35 years old, just coming up at Nike or Intel.
Yeah.
And, he's finally getting a nice car.
Yeah.
Cool. Look good in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Nope. This is going to a high school parking lot.
Wow.
Yeah, that's insane.
So, David, does that mean that's why the smart cars have the unique kind of bubble? Because they're like sub $10,000 cars, but they're also reliable, safe. They've got fuel economy. Is that like where those exist?
Nobody buys those for their kids. No one.
Okay.
People look at those cars. Most people I know look at those cars and say, I will never get in that car, or that thing is frightening, and it's a good thing that doubles as a coffin.
Mm-hmm.
I have kids. I don't know about you guys, but like, you would look at a smart car and you would say, I've never put my kid in that car.
I wouldn't put myself in that car.
I couldn't imagine my kids in there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Because I've got the Lambo, the Fiat, they're really hard to fit in the smart car.
Yeah. So, yeah, the smart car is typically designated for, city dwellers, people who are never leaving downtown Portland, need to park tight quarters, or they're going to put it on the back of their RV. They're retired. When they show up in Sedona, they have an escape vehicle. That's who's buying those.
Okay.
But
on the occasion you see it on the road, you're like, oof, death trap.
Totally.
Just, could you imagine getting rear-ended in one of those?
They actually
be
have
like a hockey puck
safety rating.
Their safety rating is good,
That's what I hear, but still.
Yeah, that safety cell is significant, and supposedly they can take a big impact.
Still scares me.
Scary. It really. How good are your organs connected?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
Inertia is real.
Oh yeah.
Like you get hit in one of those by one of your guys' trucks.
Yeah.
Instant death.
I wouldn't want to get hit in my truck by my truck.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it's a violent wreck. Right? That's a lot of weight throwing around 8,000 pounds or whatever.
Yeah. Well, mine empty is 8,100 pounds. I couldn't imagine getting hit by another 8,100 pounds.
Right.
Good Lord.
Right. Well, which is nearly any battery-powered vehicle now.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Good point.
That F-150 is heavier.
Yeah.
I think it's 9.
And what's that new Hummer's 10,000 pounds?
Oh,
something like that.
Those new Hummers are massive.
They are massive.
yeah, put your wife in that thing.
Well, she'll be safe. Everybody else will be screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're going right through them.
Have you seen the video where the F-150, is it the Ford Lightning?
Yeah.
Is driving into the guardrail barriers, the Jersey barriers. Dude, it hits the Jersey barrier and fucking keeps going.
Really?
Just bounces off?
No, it goes straight through
it. Keeps going.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
They are going to have to rethink that.
Yeah.
That's
insane.
crazy.
Yeah.
I wonder what those are rated at.
Not an F-150.
Well, Jersey barriers are designed when you're driving down the freeway and you hit one. They're designed to do one of two things: push you back into your lane,
or flip
you and push you back into your lane.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you smash it with a Hummer.
Yeah. I mean, if you hit it straight on, you'll go through it.
Yeah.
That's wild.
With one of those.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would like to see that same test on a standard F-150 without the battery packs and see what happens.
I mean,
just as a comparison.
They'd probably launch over and do the same thing.
It might.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean,
yeah.
Just because your center of gravity is so much higher, you might actually go over the top of it.
Just launch, yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Either way, it's scary.
So that's some ugly stuff, for sure.
You ever seen anybody hit a Jersey barrier?
Mm-mm.
No.
I have once.
I bet it's awesome.
I've seen
it. It was kind of funny. We were driving down 26. My wife and I were in the truck. And I'm like, oh, and she looks over like, what is going on? And all of a sudden there's dust and dirt and shit flying all over the place. And she's like, oh, this Toyota Tacoma that had really wide tires on it. It was a lifted truck. Drifted into the barrier.
Yeah.
Hit the barrier, launched him back into his lane, and dust was everywhere. But he was coming right at us.
Oh, wow.
It was crazy.
Yeah. I saw a guy in a Honda Civic. I was coming back from Bellingham, just cruising along. I'm in the left lane. He's in the center lane, right behind a semi-truck. The only thing I can figure is he fell asleep. And when he woke up, it scared him, and he jerked the wheel hard left, went straight into the Jersey barrier, bounced off that, like almost flipped the car over. It didn't, but then it came back across and hit a van in the center lane and just made a huge mess. It was just gnarly. And that is the only thing I could think is like he must have fell asleep and then just startled him when he woke up. Because he was right behind a semi-truck, like really close.
Yeah.
Imagine waking up behind the wheel.
Yeah, exactly. And like, oh shit.
Yeah, God.
And he just reacted, and it did not end well.
Not good. Not good at all.
I was like 4 car lengths behind him, so there was debris everywhere.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
It was kind of nuts.
I watched a van one time hit hydroplane.
Oh, yeah.
It caught, turned completely right, and went off the freeway into the bushes.
Oh, just whoop.
Yeah, it was like, whoa, here it is, and now it's gone.
There he goes. Yeah, that's crazy.
It was so fast.
Yeah. So, talking about new cars and stuff, what's your thoughts on longevity of new cars in the Northwest? Like, should they be parked inside? Should we be
garage queens?
Garage queens, yeah, like overnight. Because
yeah,
that's a real thing here, especially. Well, I guess in the hotter climates too. You leave your car outside all the time, and it just cooks it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Vegas cars and Phoenix cars are always the top paint.
Yep,
you can tell
burned off.
Just burned off.
Yeah.
Out here, maybe a little less.
Yeah.
Important.
You get more moss.
Yeah, you just grow moss, but like a lot of these new cars have giant panoramic moonroofs, for example.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of trees here.
Yeah.
I always tell people, if you're buying a car with a massive panoramic moonroof, put it in the garage if you can, because if you don't, and you're not servicing the drain plugs consistently, you will get water on the floor eventually.
Yeah.
And then mold inside.
Yeah, if you don't catch it. Yeah.
You'll have corroding wires and this and that, and usually that will happen right after it goes out of warranty.
Oh, yeah, it's about a 5-year span.
It is, because it takes time to corrode. Corrosion takes time.
Yeah,
water damage takes time.
You bet.
But yeah, I mean, and if you're spending $80,000 on a car or whatever, cars are expensive these days.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Mm-hmm. A basic car is $80,000.
I just sold a like new.
Like new?
Like new. It was a 2024 RAV4 Prime. Okay.
It
was whatever.
It's the hybrid, right?
Hybrid. Yeah, it's a hybrid plug-in. It was an XSE model. It was just short of $50,000 for a RAV4.
Wow.
Whoa.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
If I spend $50,000 on a car, I'm going to try to put it inside if I can.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a RAV4 either.
No, it's not going to be a RAV4 at all.
I'm going to take that $50,000. I'm going to buy something used, and it's going to be better than that.
Exactly.
You know?
Oh, way better.
Wow, that's kind of nuts. Hey, will you look up Jared's last question? I know he had 3.
Yeah, I've got it right here.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. Hang on.
Yeah, that is kind of nuts. I'm astounded at the.
How does one get started in the dealership business?
Oh,
yep,
that's right. That's a good question.
A lot of capital.
Yeah, capital is the biggest challenge, I think, when it comes to starting a dealership. But I guess if you wanted like a step-by-step, you just, got to run out and get a license and then get bonded, insured, and then have enough money to buy a couple cars. But I think what people imagine is we're going to these sexy auctions and there's cool cars coming in one after another, and you just put your hand in the air and you're a buyer because you're the last bidder. And then you go and you sell it and you make tons of money.
Right.
No.
That is not how it works.
Bummer.
It is. Yeah. It's a great way to lose money.
Yeah.
So I think probably people find themselves undercapitalized, and that's really what will close a dealership the fastest. Especially if you have a car that you think is going to work. You go out and you buy a 6-speed manual Kia Soul, and you're like, this is rare. They don't make very many of these. And then you're looking at it 8 months later. Or
still there.
Why isn't this sold?
Because those teenagers don't know how to drive a Kia Soul manual.
And you haven't been able to spend that $8,000 on another car.
Yeah.
And you should have flipped that money 5 times already.
That's rough.
It'll eat you up quick. And furthermore, if you're borrowing that money and you're paying interest, that gets real fast.
Yeah. It starts
costing you more than you can make. Recommended if you need a capital and you go to a bank and just get a huge line of credit? Is that like the worst thing you could do trying to start out? Is it better to have actual physical liquid cash, start putting in, and that way you know what you're putting in and not owing anyone?
Well, it's always better to have physical,
true.
Just tons of money. Yeah, I think that'd be a great place to start. But most people don't. So getting a loan, leveraging in any business is a way to grow fast. Mm-hmm. But understanding, how fast things turn, inventory turn, and all those things are extremely important, because if you lose control of those variable costs, it'll eat you up.
So it would be, I would imagine you really need to understand your market.
100%.
Buying cars that are not good for your market is a good way to lose all your money.
There you go.
Because they're not going to sell.
Yeah, absolutely. Just because you like it,
right, doesn't
mean it's sellable.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. If you've got that kind of market, then, maybe those cool cars will sell, the sports cars, the exotics, or whatever you think is cool.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're in a market that just needs a commuter, not going to work. People can't afford that.
For example, there's certain, cars that are really popular. You see them all the time, like Toyota Camrys, Corollas, whatever.
Right.
If you just load up on a bunch of those, you might make money. Well, you'll find that there's a ton of those out there.
Yeah. There's
super lean margins and tons of competition. And the brand new ones, for example, aren't very much more than a 3 or 4 year old one. Now you're competing with big dealers with lower interest rates, incentives, etc. I mean, that'll eat you up quick.
Yeah.
Or what if you bought 10 Teslas because you think that electric cars are the future? Mm-hmm. And then Elon Musk shoots out a tweet and
drops the prices.
Drops the price 10 G's.
Now everything that you paid for is
just
now more
dropped.
expensive than a brand new one.
Yep.
Yeah.
And good luck.
Yeah. You're screwed. Now you're taking a bath just to get rid of it.
That happened to me.
Mm.
I think, what was it, last May or something?
Yeah, when he dropped the prices.
I had one in transit.
Oh. Rough.
And I thought we were going to make good money on it. It was a cool one. It was a performance, low miles, real sweet car. I looked on the internet. Base price on Model 3s, 10 G's less. Heart sunk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fortunately, we got off it. I think we didn't lose money on that one. But if that one guy didn't walk in, I might still have that car.
Yeah, sitting on for a long time.
Might be my wife's car right now.
Driving that instead of the Supra.
There you go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Can't get rid of it. Now I have to drive it.
Yep.
Is there any cars right now in the market that if a dealership's just starting up, what's a healthy car for someone to sell?
Ford F-150.
Yeah?
Yeah, Ford F-150s are like...
all day of the week they make money.
Yeah. That's just a safe car to get.
Wow.
But if you own a dealership, I would imagine you wouldn't want 10 of anything on this.
Well, I mean, it depends.
If it's a good seller.
Well, I guess it depends how much capital you have.
Right.
It goes right back to it. Because if you have variety, somebody can come to you, see 10 different F-150s parked there.
He's got choices.
Yeah. And if, let's say you go out and you buy a blue one, and it's got all the things that, Grant wants to buy, but he wants to buy a red one.
I want a red one. It's got to be red.
Weird. He's not going to buy your blue one.
Nope.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's pretty valid. Like when I went and bought my F-350, same thing. I mean, they had like 4 on the lot or whatever, bought it used. And it was nice to be able to look at different ones and say, well, this one's got all the options I want. What's the mileage on this? Does it suit where I want to be?
Right.
And if it doesn't, maybe the next one does. That's kind of nice when you're car shopping.
When you're car shopping, it makes it convenient.
Super convenient.
Maybe you're less likely to drive all the way across town to look at another one that's super similar.
Yep.
But just, gray instead of silver.
Right. Right. Or
whatever.
White instead of red.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Everyone's got a white truck.
Yeah.
Corporate white.
White works for me.
Yeah. But that's also good to have those, especially work trucks, because you can sell them in a fleet. Like if you find if you're in a place where constructions are just constantly buying vehicles of the specific color, try to make those connections and be like, okay, here we go.
A lot of those fleet rigs are base model.
Yeah.
Nothing units.
They're cheap.
Yeah.
Are those hard to make money off then if they're just base models because you have to get them for a certain price?
Yeah, their margins are super lean.
Yeah, they go cheap as they are.
Yeah.
So you were talking about being able to fit a customer with a new vehicle. Like, how do you go about? Do you have dealers that you work with, or some kind of connections to be able to get a new vehicle in the hands of a customer?
Yeah. So it depends on the car and what they're looking for. So a lot of what I do for that service is you're paying for the convenience, but also the knowledge and the ability to know what's a good deal versus what's too pumped up. So a lot of guys are, a lot of people will call, XYZ dealership who has, set prices because it's the best price.
Yeah.
So they say.
Yes. And I usually
no haggle dealership.
That's
right.
And I consistently am beating those dealerships by $1,200 to $1,800.
Oh, love it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. People who bought, I sold that a Chevy Equinox EV. I believe my price was about $1,300 better than what they were quoted, and then I hit them about $800 more on the trade-in. So it worked all the way around. They were net up $2,000.
Nice, and they got what they wanted.
And the car showed up on a trailer. I think there was 8 miles on it when it was in my parking lot.
Sweet.
Yeah, so everything was perfect.
Yeah.
So, as the new car environment is normalizing again after COVID, there's a lot more flexibility and dealers are more motivated to sell cars. So knowing where to go, knowing what to ask for is really important. There's a number of different discounts that are available. You can go, fleet pricing, this, that, Costco discount, whatever. So
yeah. What does that mean though? Normalizing. What changed in COVID? Was it the delivery?
It was
mostly?
Production.
Yeah.
Production. Yeah. So if you want a new GMC Yukon,
you couldn't get it.
You couldn't touch one. And they were, the dealers who had them were selling for $10,000 to $15,000 over MSRP.
Right.
Before COVID, you would get them under invoice.
Okay.
That's a $20,000 swing.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're back to about MSRP, which has risen.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But you can still find a good deal. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're out there. But then again, every car is a little different. So
I have noticed new car lots starting to fill back
they're
up.
Stacking up.
But honestly, just in the last year, I drive by a Chevy and a Ford dealership on my way home every day. And last year, this time, they were pretty empty.
It was eerie.
Especially with the trucks.
Yeah.
Now they've got a full lot, which I guess that's good to see. At least stuff's breaking loose as far as deliveries and that kind of thing. But I was still wondering, and maybe you know some of this, maybe you don't, but they were stacking up old models because they couldn't get chips and parts and that kind of stuff. What happened to that stuff?
I don't know. I know there was fields of cars.
Massive.
Fields.
Massive.
Yeah.
Amounts.
Like acres.
Yeah, for sure.
It was wild.
It was.
And I don't know what happened to those.
Yeah, I was wondering.
That would be.
Yeah, well, like all the Super Duty trucks, right? You couldn't get any of those. You couldn't get any of the big Denali 2500s or anything like that because of chips. So they said,
right.
I'm sure that it was a varied parts and whatever. But I had heard that possibly they were upfitting them to be a current model.
Interesting.
Going from a 22 to a 23 because it took so long. They have these old models. They couldn't sell them.
That's pretty.
And I don't know if they can do that if they have to change VINs and that kind of stuff. I don't really know how that works, and I don't even know if it's really true. But maybe that was something.
The VIN number is usually one of the last things to go on the car.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
even when they're sitting out in the field?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
because it's a drivable truck, but you couldn't, all the options didn't work.
Yeah, when cars come to port, a lot of times what they're putting on last is the logos.
Really?
And the VIN numbers and all that stuff.
Oh, that's right before delivery.
Right before delivery,
okay.
But if it's right before delivery, a lot of time VIN numbers put underneath the glass, though, on the windshield.
Well, it's probably the last thing to go on. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Interesting. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It is pretty wild, yeah.
Yeah.
The lost years.
Kinda, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like there wasn't a whole lot of deliveries made in 22. Like you just couldn't get the vehicles.
Yeah, there's just and there'll be a vacuum.
Well, it's kind
of used cars, kind of following that.
I'm sure.
Well, it's kind of like the original C8s are rare because they're 2020s when they were released. Not a lot of people got them.
Yeah, they didn't have a big production run.
Yeah, and then some of them I think don't have the start stop because they were lacking on chips. Might not have been C8, but
that would be nice to not have that.
Yeah, no, there are cars that released in 2020 and 2021 that had no start stop because they couldn't get them for the chip and they had to get cars out.
Yeah. So you're saying that's a good year to buy then?
Yeah, right? Yeah. Don't want that start.
I know on my car, I have a 2022 Yukon, and when it was delivered, they didn't have enough chips, so they had they basically gave me an IOU for the heated steering wheel.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and about 6 months ago, I got a brand new steering wheel.
Nice.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a chip thing. They just replaced the
Whole thing.
Here you go.
That's cool.
And now it's summer.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be perfect for next winter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know somebody else that bought the big Denali. It's like the SUV. I think it's just a Denali. GMC Denali.
The GMC Yukon Denali?
Yeah, Yukon Denali.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of the same situation. It came onto the lot, but it didn't have all the features turned on because of chips and this and that, and they have to take it back when those features come available. Maybe they've done it by now, but
they're probably out. But
yeah,
it's a weird thing.
It is weird,
especially when you're looking at your invoice and it says
your buy sheet, right?
Yeah, it says we owe.
Yeah,
steering wheel.
Yeah,
what? I just bought a car.
Drive it with this wooden one. Here you go.
Yeah, here you go.
You don't
by the way,
need that.
there's no seatbelts. Just wear a helmet.
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
fine. Airbags will pop.
They're fine. Yeah.
Just don't crash it.
Yeah, they're Takata, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Takata seatbelts.
Takata airbags.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they recalled all of those.
Oh, really?
I don't know how many cars, but
Didn't know that.
it was a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Most major manufacturers had Takata airbags, and they
Mhm.
were the deploying mechanism was faulty.
It didn't work at all.
It didn't work, or it worked by itself.
Oh,
when it
just
wasn't
randomly
supposed to.
blow up in your
Yeah,
face.
so
Oof.
they recalled them all.
Yeah.
And
wow.
it went back a long way. It was
That's
crazy.
massive.
Yeah.
Did it bankrupt them? Like
No.
something like
I don't
that
know
can
what
be.
happened to Takata itself. I think they kind of had to keep Takata alive
Yeah.
to satisfy the recall.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. Don't quote me on that, but I'm fairly certain that's how
otherwise
it worked.
they're like, well, we're out of money now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
See ya.
Yeah. Peace out,
Yep,
bro.
exactly.
There's
Recall
bankruptcy.
what?
Yeah.
That I'm pretty sure
Can't
that's
help
how
you.
that happened. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Wow. That's pretty rough. All right, let's turn a little bit of corner here. Grant told me that you're into camping, SUVs, trucks. What's your preference for camping? Like he said, maybe you've tried the van thing, you've done the camper thing.
Pop-up tent.
Yeah, we've
pop-up
had
tent,
them all.
like a pop-up trailer tent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
we've had
yeah.
them. We've had pop-up trailers.
Yeah.
Love those. Those are fine.
Okay.
As I've evolved in my camping, that kind of was a little bit of work, you know. And
you're
so I got a little bougie.
leaning more towards
Yeah.
the glamping instead.
Glamping, yeah. So like as I was a little younger, that wasn't a big deal.
Sure.
And then we transitioned into like a travel trailer,
Mhm.
kind of ultralight, pretty
Okay.
nice one. Now we've just graduated into another ultralight Passport, and it's got a slide out now.
Got the extra room.
So now we got the extra room, can stretch your legs a little bit.
Yep.
So I don't know. Oh, and then I have a Mercedes Sprinter van conversion that's pretty sweet.
That thing is sick.
I think those things are
4x4
It is.
diesel.
It is 4x4 diesel,
Yeah.
solar panel, just go boondock.
How much will that tow?
That
That's what I'm interested
That's what I'm
in.
talking about.
Yeah.
I'd have to check out the tow rating on that because
Yeah.
I think it's pretty heavy
Yeah.
because of all the build
Sure.
inside.
But it's
Decreases
got a-
your tow capacity.
It's got a Blue Tech diesel, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it should have a decent towing capacity.
Mhm.
I mean, it's,
Well, it's based on your frame and suspension too, though.
yeah. Well,
like,
it should
what
be
are
a
the-
Mhm.
what are
one
the
ton
It's
Whole
pretty
suspension.
stout.
It's
like-
Is
a
it
high
one
roof.
ton?
It's
Yeah.
a high roof long box,
Yeah.
so it's 170.
But it's got a dually on the back too, right?
That one does not.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. I have
See,
seen them with dualies on
Grant,
the back.
you need one of those, and you can tow your car trailer with that,
Yeah.
and then you can sleep in the van.
That's true. I could do
That
that.
would be awesome.
That
I
would
just
be
need to get
the
in red,
ultimate.
though.
That would be,
Yeah,
we
there's
can
a
wrap it.
We can wrap
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
We could.
it sounds like another car project.
Another car project.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you're
Just don't hire Adam to wrap it.
Okay, so you're 4 years into camping. You've had a tent trailer, the RV, the ultralight, another ultralight. Next
Yeah.
year, you're getting the Super
Pusher.
Duty, and
It sounds like it sounds like I need
Fifth
to call
wheel.
your guys' car guy,
Yeah,
grab
yeah.
a F350
There you
diesel
go. Yep.
and a fifth wheel, and they'll be
Yeah.
on.
Oh, fifth,
Yeah.
fifth wheel's the way to go.
No
Yeah.
doubt.
Talk about glamping.
David, you should
Home
see
away from home.
You should
Ooh,
see
yeah.
what Rob runs for his camping setup.
Yeah, it's
He's got a fifth wheel gooseneck, 50-foot trailer? How
it's
big
44.
44.
That 44 is about as big as it get, right?
Yeah.
is it?
I've seen 48.
His is like a camper, and the front and the back is
Yeah.
a car trailer.
I'm not
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm
I got
not
my
sure
garage.
even with a 1 ton I would tow a 48-foot trailer. That's
It wouldn't be that
big
much
trailer.
more than what I'm towing now.
You don't think so?
Not really.
Ooh, that's
No.
big though.
15,000 pound GVW.
Yeah.
The truck's good for 22.
22.
That truck
24.
out front?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Just the tow hitches on ours are what, 15,000 good for?
Oh,
Or no,
bumper?
Or no. That's the
The
low
bumper
end.
tow.
The high end we go for
Yeah.
22, 25.
Right.
Yeah. No, it's nuts.
Yeah.
What they can pull.
That is.
And it tows it like a breeze. It's
Mhm.
nothing. It's so nice. Yeah. Yeah, it works really good.
Sounds like I need to get a new setup.
Yeah.
Fifth wheel.
Fifth
I think
wheel.
when you
Well,
drive,
if you get the Super Duty with the the built-in, like they come from the factory with the gooseneck and the fifth wheel hitch
Mhm.
ready to go.
Yeah, with the plugins like already on the side, good to go and stuff.
Yep.
I think once you drive mine, David, and have like a weekend of towing with that, especially with all the ultimate tow package and the bigger axles, you guys are going to be surprised on like what the heck a Super Duty can do. You know?
I think it's a great truck.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a good truck.
There's something to be said too when you're towing, because I've towed boats and all kinds of different trailers, of having too much power. It's
I'm
way
sorry,
better.
Did you say too much?
It's the best because
yeah.
you just have no concern.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You can fly up a hill,
Up the
you can
hills, no
stop.
problem.
You
Yeah.
don't really notice it's back there till you
Yep.
realize you can't see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, I can tow mine loaded with the car and everything up a pass at 60 miles an hour.
that's what I'm
It's
saying.
not a problem.
Yeah.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Yeah.
And, they've got great engine braking and that kind of stuff. So coming back down the other side, you just set your cruise control. The truck take care of it.
Jake
nice.
brakes kick
Actually,
in.
you guys could ask me about that. I haven't used that function a lot on there. I see it on there, and
You
it has.
should.
Well, it has the Jake brake option on, and then the
Mhm.
Jake brake auto option.
Mhm.
So, what do you guys switch to when
Auto.
you're going downhill? Do you hit auto, or do you hit it, or leave it on auto all the time, or leave it on, or what?
Just leave it on auto. And honestly, as long as you have it on tow haul, it takes care of it. Like you just tap your brake, it shifts down one gear. It'll hold your speed coming downhill.
Okay, so put it on auto, even just normal driving, or only like when you're going downhill.
Up to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't needed the Jake brake for just driving around town.
Yeah.
No, I only
when-
use it when I'm towing.
Okay.
Yeah, when I was driving up from Yuma, Arizona with the truck,
Mm-hmm.
coming down a couple of the passes, I turned it on.
Yeah, you set your cruise control and the truck just takes care of it.
Yeah.
That's
Mm-hmm.
so
That's awesome.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would be
Yeah.
nuts is because the new 2024 Fords and Up have the Blue Drive, whatever. It's the self-driving mode. I
Mhm.
want to know if they actually engage that Jake brake while you're doing it.
Probably not when you're towing. I think it disables that kind of stuff because, like, traffic alerts and stuff for your sides, it turns that stuff off when you're towing because the trailer interferes with it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Have you tried Blue Cruise yet?
No, have you?
Yeah.
How is it?
It's insane.
Really?
Oh, it's so wild. I had a Mach-E.
Okay.
I drove it from here over to Eastern Oregon, and you get bored driving by yourself, so you're gonna try out the Blue Cruise.
Yeah.
Clicked it on, and took me more or less over Mount Hood without touching the steering wheel.
Oh,
And
wow.
Wow.
there's some sketchy
That's
like
a little nuts.
turns.
Yeah, some of those you can
Yeah.
hit too fast. For
Oh
sure.
yeah, and it came in 60 miles an hour, just pulled me around the corner. Steering wheel. The only thing it did
Yikes.
is occasionally it would yell at me to touch the steering wheel,
Yeah.
and it wanted to make sure I was alive.
Put your hands back.
Hey,
Yeah,
you
you
awake?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's crazy to be able to do it even in Mount Hood because of all the spots where there's like spotty.
Oh
you know.
yeah,
Yeah.
Does
Do
it-
those things work?
GPS. That's what they were.
Yeah. Yeah. So, as I understand it, and this is kind of from a Tesla point of view, the more people that use it and drive those roads, it learns. So their system learns that road from other people, other users.
that would make sense.
Does Blue Cruise do the same thing?
I
Or
don't
do they use
know.
the same network, I wonder?
I wonder if they use Google.
I don't know. I'm not sure if it's like a Tesla cloud kind of thing or how it exactly works, but that's something
Tesla's
I
is
heard.
different too because Tesla's. I've driven a Tesla with self-driving option.
Mhm.
It feels more advanced,
Really?
strikingly.
Wow.
Yeah, I had a Model X, and those will pass a car.
Yeah.
Without even.
They're just like, we're going this speed. You're in my
Yeah,
way. I'm going around.
out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, those
Oof.
feel like they're like actively working. Where Blue Cruise feels like it's going off, like maybe more sensors and a
It's
maybe
going
a
off the
Google
lines
map.
on the road.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do notice when
that.
the lines go away, you drift
Yeah.
a little bit, you creep, and that's probably why they want your hands on the steering wheel.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they haven't put cameras in there to look at your eyes, make sure your eyes are open.
Oh, yeah.
I
I'm
think
sure that's coming.
Mercedes does that. They did that for a while.
Oh, yeah?
And that was like late, like 2018-19 tech.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's everything, all of the above, really.
Right.
I've actually seen somebody driving down the road in a Tesla napping.
Mm-hmm.
Stop it.
Yeah, not kidding. I was just like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
It's like reckless driving without
For
driving.
sure. Yeah.
Well, that
Literally without driving.
Mm-hmm.
Literally. Yeah. Just sitting there. I'm going to go to work now and
Could
nap
you-
on the way.
Could you imagine trusting your car that much?
no.
No.
Never.
To be fair, 20-year-old girl.
Point in case.
Yes.
I really want to know if you could use that to pass the DMV test. Click autopilot and just
We
go.
talked about that last week, and no.
Well, we talked about the
answer's
flip
2
braking,
weeks ago.
but not
You
the
have to
autopilot.
drive it, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Maybe in
Autopilot.
California.
maybe.
Yeah, probably, right? Oof, gnarly. I don't know.
We
Kind of got sidetracked there.
trailers.
Yeah. Back to the camping stuff. I'm really intrigued. I've always liked the Mercedes Sprinter conversions. I just think they're awesome. I would love to have one of those to like go. I'm not big into camping necessarily, but like snowboarding or something like that, and go up to the mountain. I just think it'd be awesome.
I think that's who's going to buy that thing when I
Yeah.
eventually go to sell it. Is
Yeah.
like a windsurfer or somebody who's just doing cool stuff all
Going
the
out.
Someone
time.
likes to travel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Day trips or
Man
whatever.
bun, just like out there, just doing cool.
Is there a
stuff.
rack on there I can put my my board on?
go mountain climbing or something?
Mhm.
Oh wow.
Some pothead hippie YouTube dude is
What's
gonna
wrong with
buy
that, bro?
thing. And I'm not saying anything's wrong with it, but that's who's buying it.
All right.
Mm. I'm surprised though. So like we were talking about the ultralights you have.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot believe how actually quote unquote ultralight they are. So
It's
like,
wild.
because David parks his trailers at my house,
You have ultralights.
and yeah, that's what he.
Oh.
Yeah.
The
And-
trailers.
They're
So,
not
like-
six.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was on a different plane.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
but no, those trailers like the newest one you're buying is another 5 feet longer. So that puts out
Yeah.
what, a 30-foot trailer,
It's 29 feet.
29 feet, and it still weighs
It's
like
5,200 pounds.
that's insane.
It's crazy.
It's just
Yeah,
for the
that's pretty good.
size with the pull out onto it and
Yeah.
a full bedroom and kitchen and everything else. It's
That's
just,
kind of normal for the new trailers, though.
I guess I'm
Well,
just saying.
Yeah,
like,
maybe
Yeah,
aluminum frame, aluminum.
Mhm.
Yeah,
they're all going to the lighter weight. They're not necessarily wood
Mhm.
walls and all that stuff anymore.
Mhm.
Does it still have a steel underframe, or is it something else?
Yeah,
now?
I think so.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it has like a sturdy base, and
Yeah.
then everything else
Yeah.
is
So
light.
out of all the
Yeah.
stuff you've used for camping, how come you never guys went to the RV route or a giant like RV pusher route?
The hard part for me about driving a motorhome, my buddy and I actually were talking about this today.
Mhm.
He's selling his motorhome because when they get to where they're going, they are stuck at that park. They don't have an escape vehicle.
Yep.
They didn't spend the extra money and buy a smart car to tow behind it. So if you're going to the Grand Canyon,
Mm,
you're staying at the Grand Canyon.
yeah.
You're not
If you
going
got to
out
go
to
to
dinner.
town,
Yeah.
you're taking the whole thing.
Whole camp's going.
Yeah, you see a lot of that. People bring either a small trailer or tow a small car behind them or something like that.
Or motorcycle.
Just for that reason. Yeah,
I see
motorcycle.
that sometimes.
Yeah. Yep. Kind of rough. No, but that's a serious concern if
That's
you're
the
going to use
concern
it.
for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
In
I don't wanna
Arizona,
deal with
you
that.
can drive your side by side on the road.
Yeah, you can
Mm-hmm.
As long as it's licensed.
if you happen to have one.
Yeah.
Oh, there's that.
There is that.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Has maintenance ever been an issue with any of those trailers? Like an RV, I figured, that's going to take a heck of a lot of maintenance because it's a lot of wear on the engine and bearings and whatnot. But like trailers, are they pretty just simple?
Pretty low key.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's small things that
Yeah.
always go wrong, like electrical lights and maybe jacks will stop working.
hmm
Outside of that, there's not a lot to really fail,
Hmm.
which is
Yeah.
nice. I mean, leaks,
Water
I guess, water pump,
Yeah.
water heater. Depends how much you use it and what you're getting into.
hmm
But considering there's no motor, drivetrain, or anything like that to deal
Yeah.
with,
I had one for about
Yeah.
7 years, and it was pretty good. Yeah, not a whole lot of. As long as you do the maintenance and keep up on it,
yeah,
they hold up pretty well.
Mm.
They're not bad. And mine was fairly. We get that in 2007 or 8, somewhere in there. 2007. So older technology,
Right.
So the newer stuff I feel like is built. Maybe it's not better. I don't know. That's giving them a lot of credit.
It is
really.
giving them a lot of credit. 'Cause
Yeah.
technically, the
They haven't changed
technology
shit.
hasn't really changed. Yeah. Jacks
That's
work the
valid.
same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think about what's installed in it.
Right.
Like, no, they haven't changed that
Yeah.
stuff. It's the same
Cable wire is coming from the same place.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. They haven't done much.
If it
with that.
ain't
But
broke,
it's-
don't fix it.
Well,
Yeah.
it is kind of broke. They could do way better. They really could.
Yeah.
But they're trying to shave costs or keep their
There you
margins
go.
higher.
It's
you know?
probably a combination of both.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you could make a
You could make-
badass RV.
You really could.
Look at Marathon or any of those giant bus diesel pushers that
Yeah.
they have that are $2
$1
million
million,
bucks.
right.
Yeah,
Pre-Vost.
they're sweet.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
That's
I bet
high end
you-
stuff.
I bet you they have all the stuff we were talking about.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you pay for it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All
Yeah.
high end stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all it takes is money.
You can buy a motor.
Easy. Easy.
You can buy a motorhome with granite and tile and all that stuff with a shower bigger than the one you have in your house if you want.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you can. That's no joke. So, David, are you into auto sports at all? Like either participating or watching, or do you enjoy it?
I like watching F1
Okay.
primarily because of Drive to Survive.
Yeah.
You know,
that's a
I
big
think that
boom.
really just brought a lot more people to the sport.
100% it did.
And then, hanging out with Grant,
Yeah.
I'm drawn to.
You need to come
know,
to the races.
I need
Yeah.
to
really
come
do.
to the races.
I think you'd
Yeah.
love it.
Mm-hmm.
I
You
would,
love it.
guaranteed.
Next
Yeah.
weekend, David.
I mean, last time, so a quick story.
Bring a BMW.
Yeah, people love BMWs of those, right?
Yeah. Or your Supra. You could race your Supra.
That's super.
That
Would be
would
perfect.
actually be really
actually.
sick to race that.
Have to get full coverage insurance on it.
You
Yeah,
would
they're
not.
just cones.
No.
They're just
You would
cones.
not need that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't even need to drive it. Just bring it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
There you go.
Ride home with Grant.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Grant, I remember he got new GT brakes on his Mustang, and he came skipping it into my office one morning. He throws me his keys, like, "You got to drive my Mustang." And I was like, "What are you up to? It's 4:00 on a Friday. Let's talk about this." And he's like, "Come check this out." He shows me his GT brakes. Okay, that's cool, whatever. And
I'm not taking it on trade, bro.
I know better than that. So I was like, "How about you drive me out, and I'll drive back, but just show me kind of like what we're getting
What it could
into,
do.
because I'm not gonna just jump into your car, and I've never driven it, and
Yeah.
just go nuts, whatever."
It's not like I do that all the time. It's like, here, grab it.
Let's just kind of jump back in Friday evening traffic.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I forgot it was a Friday.
So it's a Friday evening
You're not
traffic.
going anywhere fast.
No.
Yeah.
Y'all, you aren't. You shouldn't be. We leave my parking lot, and we aren't to the stop sign, and he goes, "Just giddy." I mean, you've driven with him. You
Yeah.
know.
I've driven the car.
There's music going that I've never heard before.
Yeah. My
And
Little
it's-
Pony.
It's My Little Pony. It's like animated,
Yes,
whatever. I'm not
anime.
really sure what it's going on, but
Right.
I feel like I'm in a bad dream.
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
Really, like a murder movie.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You're kidnapped.
And we're
Can't escape.
going unknown speed, but it feels quick. Let's talk maybe 80 miles an hour
We're talking the first.
towards a stop sign
Yeah.
with cross traffic, heavy cross traffic.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "You got to see how fast my car can stop." And he's hyped. So he's yelling at you, and you're
Oh,
in a
boy.
Mustang, and he's yelling right at you.
Yeah.
And we're getting to the point where I'm nervous as we are going so fast. We're at the stop sign, and he hammers the brakes. The bottom of my feet cramp. Like I'm there.
Hanging on.
I am
Yeah.
dead, and I'm like, all right.
He was pushing
I
the brake.
hope my wife knows where all the money is and the life insurance and everything, because we're done. And sure enough, we stopped 3 feet short of the stop sign. He's like, "I can stop this in 60 feet. Holy shit. Take off. We hit a roundabout. And there, of course, again, it's rush hour. It's a speed circle. There's
Speed circle.
It was recommended at 60 miles an hour.
no.
Okay.
No. This
Half
is
that, maybe.
It had maybe
No.
35, but more like 20.
Yeah.
There's people trying to get in at every single entrance.
How many times did he go around?
We did it 3 times.
Oh, my gosh.
Drift the shit out of that thing. Windows are down. He's giggling.
Oh, my. Just like he is
Just
right now.
like he is
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Just,
So good.
I have the oh shit handle in my arm, and I'm like I think people may have thought I was abducted because of the way I was like screaming for help out the window.
Yeah.
So this is why maybe I haven't made it to the track yet, because I'm anticipating something like that happening.
You're right. Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
He'll probably spin it around while you're in the car.
Of course, on purpose.
On purpose. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I like, though, like, as soon as we got done, I threw you the keys to drive back, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to take it light and easy. And he says that. And as we're driving back, I looked at the speedometer. He's doing 85 miles an hour. And I'm like, David. He's like, what? I'm like, he's like, oh, not realizing the car. I'm like, telling him, like, when you're driving that car, even though when you see like you're going slow, it just grips and holds you at speeds that you wouldn't imagine.
I will say it handles really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And isn't that naturally aspirated? Just standard, like nothing.
The engine wasn't really modified back then, you know.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's one of the better Grant stories I've heard. Yeah.
It is burned in my mind.
That's awesome. That's pretty funny.
Sometimes I wake up at night.
Let's do that again.
I doubt that's what he said. It's like, oh my God. Never again.
I know what traffic circle he's talking about.
Oh, yeah.
I would have fucking hit him.
Yeah.
I would have plowed right into the side of him. If I saw him go around 3 times, I would have been so pissed because that's at my work. I'm trying to go home. What is this dipshit doing?
No, that's not your work. Different one.
No.
These guys are all leaving Intel, and they
That's
just
at my work, you
a
fucker.
12-hour day.
Yeah.
These guys are engineers.
Watching this guy go around in circles.
And this
just mad.
asshole is just...
That's
funny.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, man.
Memorable. It was a good time.
Yeah.
Memorable. Yeah.
What's nuts is, David, if once you come to one of our race events and jump in the seat like with Rob or with Tim or Jim, you will know that my car is not as fast. You will see real speed. You know,
it's different when you're going at a cone than it is
with
a
traffic
circle or another car.
Right.
Or stop sign with traffic.
Yeah.
I will say this though: a lot of people who do ride with me say it's a different experience because of the music and then the wild driving, because they see a heavy car and it's like,
I think it's because they don't believe you have control.
Oh,
I think that's really what it is.
Without question.
Yeah.
Without question. The music.
That's it. I was going to say the music really is like a key indicator.
It's so abstract.
Yes.
To be nice.
Yeah.
I just can't believe it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people are like, this was a bad idea.
Yeah, because
this was a mistake.
It gets that murderer giggle going on, and it's just like, what is about to happen?
Yeah.
I'm going to die.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty valid. Yeah.
Yeah. Something different. Like if you're going 100 miles an hour down the highway, like that's nothing.
yeah. We're going 100 miles an hour around the corner. Different feeling.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's just dawned on me, I think, from now on, when we have new people come to autocross, they get to ride with you first.
Oh,
yeah.
So good.
And then Bert.
And then Bert. Or Jason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a jump-in you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's
initiation.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
First time I rode with Bert, he missed the first corner and blasted through a whole line of cones.
Oh, yeah.
And he goes, well, shit.
Well, didn't see that.
That's not what I meant to do.
Yeah, no doubt. So what's it like? I don't know. What's it like with Grant, family functions? And let's hear about this.
Let's dive in.
Let's dive in, because I don't think we've really know the background, the true...
Behind the veil.
Yeah.
Oh, entertainment only.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would say that the best are bunco parties.
Oh, hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Bunco with...
Left, right, center.
Left, right, center. Yeah. Aren't those parties the best?
Yeah.
We usually will just do big pizza party, too much alcohol, mostly wine, because that's what we drink around there. Yeah.
Yep.
Italian night, pizza and wine.
Nice.
And left, right, center. And it gets turned up.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Yeah. It's a good time.
That's funny.
It's and it's always loud.
It's a Gonzalez.
I was actually going to ask if the whole family is that loud.
The volume.
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
No?
No.
Don't think so?
No. Grant is probably the loudest out of the whole group.
Yeah.
I would put David number 3. I think your dad is louder than you.
Yeah,
I
would
so.
agree with that.
Yeah.
Chris is pretty loud. Grandma can be pretty loud.
So the whole family is loud.
Yeah.
So back to what you said. Yeah.
But his sister's not super loud.
Oh, no, you'd be surprised. Olivia gets...
I haven't heard her get super loud yet.
She gets loud when she gets excited or angry.
And I haven't heard your dad real loud yet either.
He's pretty low key.
Yeah.
He gets pretty loud at his house.
That is true.
When he's
excited about something.
When he's around Roy.
Yeah.
That's a good time.
Yeah.
It's always a good time.
Gotcha.
You know.
Yeah. Interesting.
But,
so,
you've been on a couple of drives with us when we could take out some of the sports cars, though, haven't you, David?
Yeah, they're a good time.
Like,
but when you go on drives, it's different, you know?
Yeah, it's not... Dad
do you have to follow Grant?
No, we have to follow the old man.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's
keep them under wraps.
So, it depends. There's times when Dad, like when it's me and him, just us, he'll start going at speed, and it's my job to keep up with him. Kind of like a training session, but not. He has his way he wants to be going, and I have to be keeping up. But when we're in a group, he'll maintain a lower end speed, still fun, but that way he knows everyone's keeping track or see how people are going. You know? Yeah.
I think it depends also what we're driving.
That too.
Where do these drives usually take you?
A lot of time around, we used to drive a lot around Bend, and then now it's mostly in the gorge.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And it's good to see the sights and rev the cars up and go and stuff, you know.
Those tunnels on Highway 14 are kind of rad.
That's the best. We go up there and just Ferrari after Ferrari after Ferrari.
Highway 14 is pretty good drive.
It's a great run, and the sound of the Italian cars.
Yeah, through the tunnels.
Because we rev them all the way to Red Line.
Yeah. Sure.
You know.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are special.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
My sister, I remember the first time, she never really went on the drives with us, and she didn't understand what was the big deal, me and Dad, and, you know, her boyfriend at the time, now husband. Like, how big of a deal? She drove with us, and we went through Highway 14 until we went through those tunnels. That's when she understood what was going on. She's like, that was amazing.
Yeah. No, it's pretty good. It's fun to be able to hear that, you know, that reverberation off the rock walls, because this is a bare tunnel too. It's like a rock tunnel.
Exactly.
Yeah, those are pretty cool. And there's 4 of them in a row or something like that?
Oh, there's I think like 5.
4 or 5.
Something like that,
yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. I think there's 5. But and they're also close together. You're out of one and into the next one. And
yeah, I don't remember them being that close, but it could be. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess at that speed.
Yeah, that speed.
Yeah, that's fair. Till you get held up by the hay truck in front of you.
Oh, that's when you pass.
Or the Prius.
Yeah.
We're going wine tasting.
The PT Cruiser.
Taking the wine, the PT Cruiser. I love those.
Yeah.
So your favorite then, right?
PT Cruiser?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah. In a manual? Sold. Let's go.
A manual?
Yeah.
A manual convertible?
Manual convertible.
With the wood panels.
Wood panels, ideally hood painted with an airbrush piece of art.
And all the check engine lights.
I think that's standard.
The squirrely scroll pinstriping.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
With a signature of somebody.
Gotta have the signature. I mean, that makes it worth at least $5 more.
Oh, yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
Grant, you want to update us on your project?
On Liger?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, it is project related show, so
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Because we were getting ready for Crow's Landing.
Yeah.
And I was adamant about getting her not only just done and ready for the season, even though she should have been ready like 3 months ago, but I was like, let's dial her in a little bit more.
Yeah.
I noticed the rear brake pads were really low, and I'm like, you put new brake pads on there. Well, if I'm putting brake pads, might as well do the front, even though I just did them last year. And if I'm doing those, I'm like, I probably should put on some better rotors.
Yeah.
Because we're going to a big event.
You should have some rotors.
It's like dressing up for the belle of the ball.
Right.
So, Liger was given, HP Plus Hawk pads, more for racing on the cross slash. They claim they could still be used for street.
Right.
But I'm like, okay.
Yep.
And we gave her a full set of Talon rotors.
Oh, you did get the full set.
I got the full set.
All right.
So that's all assembled onto her.
Did you bed those in yet?
I have not.
Okay.
Gonna try to figure it out, but still, she's technically not street legal, so we'll have to figure a way we could bed them in without being on the street.
Just take the plates off.
Nobody's gonna pull you over.
You need a dealer plate.
There we go. Perfect.
If only we knew someone.
Oh.
And then the other big thing was tires.
Yeah.
So Liger's always had traditionally, for probably the last 3 years or so, 275 wide tires.
Right.
This year decided let's put the maximum amount we can on the GT500 rims I have. Because we did get the Apex wheels, and we have talked about how we got those.
Right.
And those, I knew weren't going to have the suspension dialed in time, because it's not just pop-on wheels called good. We have to camber in the front, adjust toe, possibly put spacers in, and camber bolts. So with all that being said, we just stuck with the GT500 wheels and put 295s on them.
Yep.
That was the largest wheel that would A, fit on those rims, and B, it was also perfect because that's the largest wheel you can get in an 18 for the RE71 RS.
Largest tires.
Thank you.
Yes.
And that was important because at Crow's, we talked about this. If I was putting Hoosiers on Liger, I would get immediately put into the super modified category.
Right.
Which he already is. But I still have an interior and all that jazz. I'd rather be in the cam class. So going with these tires now, I'm back in cam class with the RE71.
Legal for cam, right?
Yeah.
Classic American muscle.
Yeah.
Right on.
Complimentary, which means like 2,000 and up. So, Challengers, Chargers, Mustangs, Hellcats, etc., etc. And then the other thing we did is I hope I solved the headlight issue.
You did.
For
for sure.
Maybe.
Maybe.
So I replaced the pigtail, have new light bulbs,
Yeah.
have installed light bulbs, but the old one, the one of the light bulbs we had last time was burnt, and that's what was causing the recent dimness.
Okay.
I think it was still from the last one.
Okay.
Putting in the other one, couldn't get to go dim. So fingers crossed, new light bulbs, that'll solve it. And the biggest thing, the biggest thing.
Is it big?
I finally cleared the check engine light for the evap code for that sensor that was hiding for years. Found it, clicked it. That hasn't gone off in about 2 weeks. I've started up every day, gone through it, and that should get Liger Street legal
What
again.
was it?
It's a evap sensor. So on Fords, there's two common ones that exist by the rear canister, by the fuel tank, and then one that fits up front by the engine. And those have been replaced. There's one more that's not really well known because it doesn't go out very often, and it sits right above the differential. And the wire goes parallel with the differential and the driveline, so you really can't even see the wire that goes to it. So finding that out, and I was like, hey, replace that. Just finding the part alone was a pain in the ass trying to find a brand new one.
Yeah.
Got that, and boom.
Cleared it.
All good to go now.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm happy to have her go street legal again.
So what? Now you got to put like 100, 150 miles on it before you can have it smogged, right?
I'm trying to figure that out. I got to get the readiness monitors off that, and we've done this once before where we had to go through the readiness monitors, and with a Mustang, has to be above. Let's see. The readiness monitors require it to be above 40 degrees, less than 85 degrees, must be less than 80% fuel tank, must be within 15 minutes of a cold start. You have to be at 55 miles an hour and maintain that for a total of 15 minutes. And it has to stay constant. It can't go above that. It can't be at 60 miles an hour. It can't be 70. It has to be 55.
Interesting.
And so the other thing is you can't also slow down below, I think, like 50 miles an hour. So the solution for that was go and drive towards the beach and just pray there's no traffic.
Yeah.
And if you fail to do all those, it's an 8-hour wait before the computer resets and lets you go through it again.
Oh,
Even
that's annoying.
Killing the battery won't do it.
So sounds like you need a trip permit.
Yeah. I need to get one of those.
Trip permit and take a drive.
Yep.
And
That's ridiculous.
That's the game
kinda,
plan.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah. And Ford's not the only one who does that. Chevy does it. It's a little bit different. But like the readiness monitors, for those who don't know, once you clear a check engine light and you think everything's so good, the computer then every car has to soft ECU reset itself to say we've met these requirements. It meets all needs. The biggest one is the emission part on your computer saying this code is ready to go through.
That must be the fastest way to get it to re-recognize everything because
the
last time I went through DEQ with codes that I had cleared, they're like, oh, you recently cleared codes, you're going to have to drive it around for like 100 miles, 150 miles.
Correct.
Right.
There was no mention of it has to be, and I'm sure for every car the requirements are different, right?
Yes.
So I don't know.
I think, and they probably say that in general because a lot of people won't go through those procedures, but by driving enough, you eventually will
get there. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, makes sense.
You know, and there's some times where people have drive their cars after and they can't get past the emissions.
Yeah.
And if I could recommend it to them, check what your car requires for readiness monitor, just do it. And if you've been 2 weeks going to the DEQ and not passing, try that out.
Yeah.
See if that helps out.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So you're basically ready for a race weekend?
No, because we just found out the rear axle is off a little bit for some reason today. It's off by about a quarter inch. No, of course, sorry, half inch to 3/4 of an inch.
Let me ask you this:
Yeah.
Did you drive it like that last year?
I don't know.
Probably.
Just run it.
That's what I was going to say.
Well, so the difference.
I'd say you drove it that way last
So
event.
the only reason is because the driver's side tire sticks out beyond the fender now with the new wider wheels. And so if I do that, the fender's going to rub into the wheels.
Yeah, I think you need to look into it.
Yeah.
I don't think the fix is going to be that hard.
No.
I
don't think so. I hope
shifted.
I'm knock on wood.
Yeah.
I don't think so either. And then the other big thing was Rob was gracious enough to let me have those R7 Hoosiers with 315.
Yep.
So we got to see what a wide wheel looks on Liger. And let me tell you, that is aggressive.
You're going to put those on the back? You're going to run them?
I will figure that out. I want to rerun the RE71s, I think, probably first.
I think you should run the R7s on the back and then the RE71s on the front.
Do you think the grip will be that big of a difference? Because won't the back grip more first?
It should.
Yeah, it will.
Is that good or bad? Because the car will naturally want a fishtail. If it's gripping, that means the front's going to dive in.
Do you push now or do you understeer or oversteer?
It depends. So it depends how the sway bar is adjusted. So right now we have her set up for 300% stiffness in the front, and that's really helpful for our
300 out of 100, mind you.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, exactly. And it's actually pretty big because last time we ran this is a side tangent, but the only other time I ran it at 300% was 3 years ago running BCA for about a season. And after just, 6 races, 8 races running that way, we lost a what are they called? Sway bar mount because it broke it. And that's my guess is why they don't make them up to that big anymore. They only make them up to about 200% now. So I had to make custom sway bar mounts that were like 1/4 inch thick, 3/8 thick to fit around that to hold on to the new sway bar if I was to go to that level. And mind you, with the Corvette and Viper Club at the higher speeds, way more easier because less body roll in that car.
Yeah.
Makes it less dive.
Yeah.
But when we're on tighter courses, like a BCA course or WMC course, where it's like more fitted to Miata or Ford Focus, something smaller, dial it back so it goes down to 50% softness. You get the easier roll of the body, less pushing. So it really depends how she's set up. Because she will push if the stiffness is there. If not, there's no pushing at all.
I think I'd just run them.
I'd do it too.
Yep.
I mean, if you think about how Rob's car is set up, right? You got, 315s in the front, 335s in the back?
Yep.
It's about the same ratio.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But it's set up for that.
But it's also different tire compound. We're talking RE71 2-inch treadwear in front.
Yeah, but
R's.
So those R's are not going to heat up as fast as your REs.
And David, just to give you clarification, what we're talking about is, so the RE71 is like the best, technically, street tire you can get.
One of.
I claim it is. I know the Yokohamas are better.
Yeah.
The A7s and the R7s, what we're talking about, are essentially just slicks. And they're built, like the R stands for race, A stands for autocross.
Absolutely. They are slicks.
Yeah.
Well, they're not
there's
essentially.
No essential about it.
Yeah.
There's no tread.
They are racing.
There's tread. There's very little on there.
They're Hoosiers.
Those are wear marks.
I thought it was for the one droplet on the track so you don't spin.
Okay.
No.
It doesn't work that way.
Oh.
those are wear marks so you know when to replace your tires.
So
anyway, the R7s are not going to heat up as fast as your RE71. So if anything, you're going to have oversteer. But I would run it.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, bring both.
I'm going to bring both for sure.
Yeah.
And the main thing is at least the backs I can fit on without having to do a modification to Liger.
Right. Yep.
So that's the big thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Mm-hmm. You stop making excuses.
Yeah, just
go.
Do it. Let's go, man.
Yeah.
Do it.
You'll never know until you try it.
That's true. That's very true.
What's the worst that can happen? You got to change tires again.
That's true.
Boo hoo.
Yeah. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you run 5 runs in the morning.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, swap them out.
I just gotta. Okay. Here's the thing. If
it's gonna be hot too.
If I put them on, that means I'll go faster, and then Derek will be upset because he'll be in second place now.
Okay.
And they'll be like, "Oh, he'll be like, those are cheating wheels." I'm like, "Oh, those aren't cheating wheels."
Calling you out, Derek.
What's he run?
He runs
Hoosiers. The same things on the back?
No, he runs A7s. These are R7s. Yeah, for race.
Yep, that's it.
Here we go.
All right. Well, that's funny.
Yeah.
I did a bunch of work on mine too. I took on the huge project of changing out all my control arm bushings from the stock rubber to polyurethane, and that took 2 days.
Real fast.
3 days.
Real fast. For the listener, can you tell David and the listeners what you're driving?
2007 C6 Z06.
Nice.
Corvette. Yeah.
In a beautiful black with red
accents.
Yeah.
Red seats, red roll bar.
It's gorgeous.
Red pinstripe.
Let's see if we pull a picture.
I love those.
The C6 is awesome.
Oh,
yeah.
It's such a good car.
Those are great.
Yeah. You ever see any of those come through?
I do a ton of C5 and C6 Corvettes.
Nice.
None of them manual.
I had a manual the other day.
Yeah.
And I had a dude drive all the way down from Seattle to pick it up.
Wow.
Because he wants to get into autocross.
Oh, perfect.
Not even joking. The guy was 28 years old.
Was it a Z06 or base?
It was just base.
Yeah.
I think it was a 3LT or something.
That's the car.
Oh, yeah, that's mine.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, that thing's hot.
Yeah, I like that car a lot. Been doing a lot of work to it. Readjusted the alignment, a little more camber. Had to change out motor mounts because my stock mounts broke 2 weekends ago, something like that. And stock motor mounts are liquid filled and
naturally.
Yeah, so they reduce a lot of vibration. But I put poly mounts in it too. So yeah, done quite a bit in the last couple of weeks.
Those are fun.
Ready to go.
Those are like, even the base ones are like the most horsepower for the money.
For sure.
Oh,
yeah.
It's crazy how cheap 400 horsepower is.
Yeah.
In a Corvette.
Corvette is a fantastic
car.
Oh yeah.
Really, and a reliable one.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true. Yeah, even the base one is a great car because you can just tinker around and modify as you go, and
you know what you're looking at when you open the hood.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the other thing.
Well, do you?
You can act like it at least.
Yeah.
You can kick the tires.
Yeah. There's a motor in there. Look at that.
It is. See?
Yeah.
I just
listen to this when I start it.
Exactly.
I just realized something.
All right.
So totally different. Rob, you might know this. For the relay race this year, do we have any input on what the items could be for passing over?
Probably not.
Okay. I was going to say, because Corvettes are known for having big trunks, for how many golf clubs you could fit in the back.
Oh, that's
Could
terrible.
you imagine
You stop
relay?
it. No, I'm not playing if that's the case.
You would have to get out. You would have to get out as the driver.
You see that right there?
Yeah.
That's a great big wing. I am not putting golf clubs across that into a trunk that has no room because now it has a roll cage.
There you go.
Not up in here.
You got a passenger
happening.
seat. There you go. Just put there and buckle it in.
Happening. That's ridiculous.
So do we want to talk about the project I'm planning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
There is one?
We have a boat in Alaska.
Oh.
It's not a Mustang.
It's not a Mustang.
This is unbeknownst to me. Yes.
Yeah, we have a boat in Alaska that I am currently working on getting the tools and wires.
Tooling up.
And new fuse block.
What kind of boat?
It's a 21-foot Boston Whaler with a Honda VTEC 250.
Those are pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's an outboard?
Outboard.
Okay.
It's only got like 150 hours on it.
Wow.
It was
Where's this at?
This is my wife's dad's boat.
Oh, okay.
It's up in Alaska.
Yeah.
Southeast. And I'm going up there for 2 weeks at the end of
What's the
August.
closest city in Southeast? Like, where are you at? Just so we can pinpoint.
It's on an island.
Yeah.
The closest big city?
No.
Okay.
Town.
Craig.
Village. Craig?
Okay.
Okay.
Craig, Alaska would be probably the closest thing.
Okay. So you fly in and do you take a puddle jumper or do you take a boat out?
Yes.
Okay. Either one.
One of the two.
Yeah. Okay.
If you fly in and you take a boat out, you would actually fly into Ketchikan, jump to Wrangell, and do the 2-hour boat ride. If you were going to take a puddle jumper, you can actually do one of two things. There's an airfield that you can fly into on Prince of Wales Island, or you can fly a float plane in.
Yeah, float plane.
That's expensive.
Yeah.
It's about $700 a person.
Yeah.
But it is a hell of an experience.
Yeah, no doubt. I bet it's pretty cool.
Yeah. It was pretty fun.
So you've got a boat sitting on an island in Alaska.
And a house and a truck. And
What's the plan?
I am going to rewire the whole thing this year. So
I think
new stereo.
What's the bigger plan?
Yeah, are you leaving stuff up there, or are you getting out? Like, what are we doing?
No. We're the great thing about Alaska is
you don't have to stay there all the time.
Yeah.
Well, two things, right? I'm going to start going in the summer because eventually my wife and I want to have a home in Arizona and one somewhere else. Well, she already owns one in Alaska. So, we're not getting out. The cool thing about owning in Alaska is there's no property tax.
Nice.
But if the house burns down, you can't have insurance either, so you got to rebuild on your own.
Oh, I didn't know that. Huh.
But yeah, I mean, she's got a truck that runs really well. She's got a house. There's a boat. I'm going to fix the boat up so we can do some fishing up there this year.
Neat.
And
so you need to rewire and do some maintenance items. And
yeah,
that's cool.
Now, here's the fun thing.
Grant.
So the old TV show,
Gilligan's Island. You're stranded.
Roadkill. No, sorry.
Roadkill.
What's the one where they buy shitty cars and
there's all kinds of those.
Pimp My Ride?
Yeah.
no, they buy shitty cars
That's a show with Exhibit.
that they they barely
Roadkill
run.
Garage.
They basically fix them and drive them back to wherever they're going. Okay. I think she also owns a Ford Bronco.
Oh, really?
Like which year?
Like early 70s?
And you didn't tell me this?
It's like 80s.
And you didn't tell me this?
It's
Bronco
brown.
2.
Hold on, I'm getting there.
It's a Bronco 2.
Yeah.
No,
exactly.
not a Bronco 2. It's full size.
Oh, I love the full size
It's
one.
full size. It's Ford. God, what is it? Full size.
351.
351. Doesn't run.
No.
Tell Grant it's there.
Right now.
There's the project.
Hold on. Right now. That's the second project.
Yeah.
So I have an idea that I want to run by my wife.
I think I know where you're going with this.
No. Don't even try to go anywhere with this.
Just
hold on. Let me
Okay,
talk.
Just hold on.
Next year. So this year, I want to go up there and assess.
Okay.
And I want to talk to my wife about it. But what I want to do is take a trip up there, set 2 weeks aside, and go up there with a couple of guys that are interested, rebuild this thing.
Try to make it run.
And then we got the Gambler 500.
Hold on. No. I want to give it to a kid up there.
Grant can't control himself.
I want to find an underprivileged kid and donate it to them.
Can I be
Here's
the
a truck
underprivileged
that you
kid?
have to work on all the time.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
And I'm not giving you any tools or money.
But what I want to do, actually, and that's
just
where it
ruined your
comes in.
life.
Yeah.
I want to find some sponsors for this. I want to find a new motor.
You're getting deep now.
Yeah.
You are.
I mean, just make the one
not brand new.
Yeah.
Not brand new. And I don't know how bad it is.
Yeah.
Right. So I kind of want to bring a
Hence
different block.
You got to go assess.
That's right.
Right.
I need to assess.
See if it even turns over.
New fluids.
Yeah.
It's probably got some mold in it at this point, so it might need to be pressure washed on the inside.
Sure.
So I want to figure out how bad it is.
A little
But
bleach and pressure washing.
Yeah.
I think
Start there.
I think it would be a cool roadkill type project.
I think you
hand
should
over to
go up,
somebody.
see if you can make it run, and see if you can drive it home.
Yeah.
That would be fun too.
Yeah.
That would be fun too. I
He's
think
stranded on the Elkhorn Highway.
Do a poll on our
Very
Facebook. Say,
well.
how will Jeremy make it back? Yes, no.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Follow him along the way.
Yeah.
we won't be that far north either.
No. Okay.
Yeah, the Elkhorn Highway I think starts in Canada and goes up into the mainland.
Yeah.
Alaska. This is like, if you want to get to it, you're taking the Alaska Marine Highway.
Yeah.
We'll be on a ferry.
Yeah.
Jeremy, I think we'll be
Gonna
so
barge
far.
it.
I think we'll be so far up. I'm not gonna be able to bring a portable stereo. We'll have to fix that radio.
Oh my gosh. Could you imagine
worst.
that drive with
Lord.
Grant, no radio?
I'm making him wear headphones.
Stop it right
I would
now.
wear
right?
headphones.
I would wear
Noise
headphones.
canceling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Everyone-
Because he's just giggling the
Yes,
entire
the
time.
whole time.
The entire time.
Gosh.
Every
his
once in a
bow
while, pull
bopping
your
around.
earmuff off.
He's
and go,
still talking.
oh fuck, he's on.
Still going.
He's on it, dude. All right.
Yeah. Going back to sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And make him drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously.
I don't know. That might be scary too.
That could be scary.
Right? Maybe you put him in the back.
Right,
It is 0% less scary or more scary than him driving the Excursion with the car trailer behind it.
Oh, that wasn't that bad. You drove shit.
I've not ridden with him, but I can imagine.
It wasn't that bad. Jeremy just didn't like the way it drove.
He had a Mountain Dew bottle in the cup holder that was his shifter.
Oh, yeah,
so
that's
he could
true.
stay awake.
Oh, wow.
Because it fits perfectly. It has resistance to it because the bottom sucks it. So when you put it in first gear, it clicks into place. And we go second gear, clicks. But the bottom is molded so
I'm
when you
turning his
move
mic
it,
off.
Yeah.
so it goes to center.
We've gone off the rails.
All right, what's our next topic?
Well, Rob was still telling about his project.
I mean, I kind of just went. Yeah.
Okay.
All the bushings and the motor mounts were broke, so I had to replace those and realignment and camber. And
Does that happen a lot with
Breakage?
what you guys do?
Mm-mm. Well, it depends. It
Like
depends.
how? Because so I remember talking to my mechanic once saying, "Hey, it'd be cool to do autocross."
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, if you're not a mechanic, you can't work on your own car. It's going to be super expensive and eat you alive."
that could be
So
true.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
do you mind if I go first on this
Go
one?
ahead.
So I would say this: like first getting into autocross, it's comparable to country road driving, like weekend warrior, spirited driving.
Spirited, yeah.
And I think that's what you compare it to. I went for the first 3 years on the same brake pads, rotors, tires last me for like 2 seasons, a season and a half before I had to replace them. Because again, not the high level competition, still learning the car. Where we're at now, I'm still going on brake pads, about 2 years on brake pads. Rotors about the same. Tires I'm going through about once a set this season.
Mm-hmm.
And the only breakage that's really happening is mainly just because of upgrades I do. Like I do have a rocker panel that came off, but that's, because of so many cones and, so much country road
Grant
driving.
does like to hit cones.
Yeah. I mean,
It's a
It's
lot of cones.
It's not Pac-Man.
no, it's,
I
Yeah.
had no idea.
Yeah.
it's tough trying to make a car that big and that heavy go that fast.
Yeah.
You got to get every centimeter you can with something that wide. But, I would say, if you're doing your own wrenching, it helps with it.
Agreed.
But it's not out of the realm to have a mechanic for it. You just have to, when you start autocross racing, just be more mindful of like your tread depth, your tire wear, oil changes, because you do want to do one every season. You don't want,
yeah, and brakes.
Yeah. But
I don't know. I think if you get into it, you want to learn. You want to learn what your car is doing and how things. You start checking it yourself, and you build a community, a group of friends. Like, hey, what should I be looking at? What should I do here in this? And they can show you how to do it and help you and that kind of stuff. I think you kind of get into it.
Right.
So, but as far as wear, yes, it does wear on your car more, absolutely, and especially when you're using running a car with high torque, high horsepower, and that kind of thing. You're on and off the throttle a lot. Those things that probably wouldn't wear out on the street are going to wear out when you're either autocrossing or road racing or those kind of things.
Yeah, you're just hitting it hard.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I'd like to know who at the track doesn't do their own wrenching.
that'd be actually interesting. I have a few ideas of people who don't.
I do too. Yeah, I don't know if I want to call them out.
I was going to say, do you want to call them out?
I don't know if I do.
But I mean, I would venture to guess that percentage is low.
Agreed.
Yeah.
It is.
And I would venture to guess that, maybe. So I know how to wrench on my own shit, right?
Yeah.
There's certain things that I'm not going to do.
Agreed. And it depends on the vehicle that you're driving. There's certain things on newer cars I wouldn't want to touch. I'm intimidated by a lot of the electronics and that kind of stuff. And if you start having those issues, it's like, man, I don't know.
Right.
That's a lot. Thankfully, my car isn't overly electronic, so it's not so bad. But some of the guys that drive the new Corvettes, they're not doing their own wrenching.
No.
Or I don't even know how much wrenching they're due. Or even some of the C7 stuff there's a lot of electronics in those C7s. So they might be doing basic.
I'm going to call.
But how
one
often
out.
do those break though?
What?
I'm going to call one out.
Go ahead.
Josh doesn't do his own wrenching.
Yes, he does.
Not-
Well, actually,
not
I
that
do
much.
his.
Not that much. Of
I
it.
do his.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry, Josh. Love you.
No, I mean, but he wants to learn. Like, he's brought his car to my shop a few times, and he jumps right in there. He's like, okay, this is what we're doing.
Show me how to do this.
100%.
Tell me what I need to do.
100%.
Yeah, okay. So at least he's interested.
Yeah.
I know there's a couple people at least
Yeah.
that are like, I don't know how to do that. I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Just make it work.
Yeah. Well, and some of those guys don't really drive their cars hard enough to require as much maintenance either. Like, it's the spirited country road driving and that kind of stuff.
And those are still fun, and you can have
absolutely.
that. But like, when you get to a point where your skill gets beyond that, you're going to want to, at some point, your skill will be beyond the limit of the car, and you're going to want to start upgrading. And then that's when you get to the new level and keep pushing.
Yep.
For
sure. And that's the C5, C6 that you were saying. Those are great platforms because you can still work on those cars.
Yeah.
Like, they're really good.
As long as they have a lift.
We had a guest recently on, David.
Yeah, that really helps. It really helps.
Yeah.
David, we had a guest on recently, Derek. Him and his dad had is it a Z06 or base Corvette? It's base, isn't it?
The red ones?
Yeah.
It's not
the base one's
it's a base, but they put a...
Yes.
Yeah.
So Z06 trans in it.
Correct.
No.
Motor. But beforehand, they kept it as a base model.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So they had a base model C5 Corvette, and they kept that stock for 10 years before they actually put some upgrades into that. Mm-hmm. And to give you an idea for the jump, Derek was doing fairly well before him, but he was like in the, 13th, 10th place roughly.
Yeah.
After they put, after driving and learning to that limit, they put the new motor in it, did, a bunch of work to it recently. First time ever, Derek's now number one of the pack and competing for that. Like, those cars are, are stellar. And again, that's something you keep at a stock level and don't really, kind of like a Miata. You can do a lot with a stock Miata.
Yeah.
It's a good looking car too, though.
The Corvette or the Miata?
No, the C5.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah, it's a great car. Super good platform. So,
what's the intimidation for you, David, for going into autocross?
You.
Other than that.
Up until this moment, I thought I was only going to be hanging out with more Grants. So
there are normal people out there.
Totally.
No, the rest of us are cool.
Right on. I think right now my life surrounds around my kids and stuff. Yeah. So I
bring them. You know how much they love that.
They would probably go nuts. Yeah,
so good.
But
put them in the seat.
Yeah. Yes, because you usually consumed all Saturday and all Sunday.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, not all. Where do we go in the morning?
I am.
If you win, you are. So
yeah.
Well,
Grant's not busy on Sundays
too.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be that way, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's the time aspect for me right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But as my life evolves, yeah. But I think start by a visit. I think it would be a fun time.
Yeah. You don't have to jump full in, but come up and visit, take some rides.
Totally.
It is.
People. It looks awesome super fun.
Yeah. It's a good time for sure.
Well, in that car community,
yep.
I mean, it's like you can go to a Cars and Coffee, meet a bunch of people.
Yep.
This is Cars and Coffee on steroids.
Yeah,
think about that.
This is coffee and driving.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is coffee driving fast.
Right. Yes. You're not talking and hanging out.
Yeah.
You're doing things.
Oh, no, you're talking and hanging out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That too.
Running a car pretty hard.
We do make a weekend out of it. Like, it's fun from the time we get there,
Absolutely, yeah.
And then the camaraderie at the end is just amazing too.
Oh yeah.
We've talked about this many times.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, like I'll go up on a Friday afternoon and I'm one of the last to leave on Sunday.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So.
And do you roll your fifth wheel every time?
Yep.
That's so sick. That's such a cool setup.
Yeah,
so
that's
you
my
have
little home.
Yeah, you have your home away from home.
I do.
And you're at the track. That's awesome.
The front, 14, 18 feet?
It's 20, I think.
Yeah, 20. It's got 20 feet of living quarters.
Yeah.
So I got a king-size bed and a full bathroom.
Perfect.
It's nice because the weekend thing, because there's a lot of people that stay the weekend. Yeah. So it becomes like every month there's a camping trip with cars.
Yeah, for sure. And if I can find more events, there's more. I did 2 last month. I'll do 3 this month. And it's good.
Get the Blackstone out. Make some good food. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
If you ever do something like that, David, any idea what kind of car project you would jump into?
I wouldn't even know where to start.
But
M2.
Yeah.
M2 competition.
There you go. Yeah. I just sold an M3 competition the other day.
Yeah.
That's a fun car.
Yeah.
That was a fun one.
Honestly, your Supra would be perfect.
It would be.
Really good.
Except for it's an automatic. I don't know if
fine.
that makes a difference.
It's more of
paddle
like
shifter automatic.
Yeah, it's paddle
Oh,
shifters.
yeah, it'd be good.
Yeah. Like
that'd be fun.
we've got people that do drive automatics and they are fast with those. I would say it's more of just friendly razzing.
It
for
is.
people.
It's friendly
Right.
competition.
You know.
You get out there and you learn how to really drive.
Yeah.
That's the exciting part, I think.
How old are your sons?
They're 11 and 13.
And they're all
Right
about cars.
there.
And they love cars.
Right there.
Yeah.
Like that 13-year-old. Now, they're not old enough to ride yet because you have to be a certain age. But like once they get there, and I strongly recommend that they start driving autocross. It's such a great learning tool.
Oh, seriously? Yeah.
It really is. Like you want to learn how to control your car.
Boom.
No better place to do it.
As well as like if you're in an emergency, like you need to make an emergency maneuver, don't get yourself more in trouble. You're going to know what that car
You know
will do.
how to do it, and
Mhm.
it's instinct.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's great.
And pulling up to that track the first time and seeing that black GTR. Come on.
Yeah.
Black GTR.
The one David has.
Oh,
Or
sorry,
half.
ACR.
Oh, ACR, yeah.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Jim's got
Jim's
he's
car.
got a
The blue one.
900 horsepower or 800 horsepower 9-liter ACR Viper 2017.
Yeah.
Black with silver
It's
stripes.
dark blue with
Dark
silver.
blue with
Yeah.
silver stripes.
gorgeous.
Dang. Yeah, those are hot.
Yeah, and it moves.
And he puts down some times in
Oh,
that
yeah.
thing.
Mhm.
Man, oh.
Yeah.
I bet.
Being a passenger, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Like, out of all the cars we've been in, that one you feel the torque much, like the most. It punches you.
I don't think I've ridden in it since he got the 9 liter.
Really?
Yeah.
No, like there was times where I ridden with him last year,
Mhm.
and I was like, it's taking my breath away
Yeah.
because just so much a punch.
Yeah.
You know.
That's cool.
Yeah. I'm gonna see if we
it's
can
a
find the
fun
picture
car.
real quick.
Very cool car.
Hmm.
Okay. So I got another question for you. What 3 cars are on your list of I really want to drive it someday?
Hmm.
Because you've driven some pretty good cars.
Yeah, I've driven some cool cars.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's so many cool cars, you know.
There
like,
is.
There's
Yeah.
like,
It's like, how do I narrow that down?
Yeah, how do you narrow it down?
Yeah.
How do you narrow
There's
it down?
got to be a top
3?
of the top, though, right?
Yeah.
Like for me, a
Gosh.
GT40.
Okay.
Top of the top.
Yeah.
Right?
Man, that is one of those questions.
It's a tough one.
Mhm.
That's a thinker.
That is
Like-
a thinker.
Now, nobody's going to hold you to it.
Oh, I
So
know.
if you get a chance
Just
to drive
blow
something else,
out.
it's okay.
Right.
But-
Oh, man.
They're not going to say, nope, that wasn't on your list. Sorry, bud.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry you can't do it.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
where
almost
do
like
you-
the free pass, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
where it is a free pass. Like, where? Sorry.
Here's your whole
Yeah. I mean, just anything and everything. I mean, like, because I mean, I don't know. There's some like certain like rare Ferraris are pretty exciting.
Yeah.
You know, things
Yeah.
like that.
Mhm.
What I found is like, I always thought like Lamborghinis were the thing
Mhm.
until I drove one.
Yeah.
And then it was like,
It's almost disciplined, some of the exotics,
yeah,
but I've always been a Lamborghini guy myself.
right.
The looks
And
are
honestly never even driven
Yeah.
one. And I love the Lamborghini Miura. Like that's,
So cool.
I would take that car in a heartbeat. I don't
Right.
care what shape it's in.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. But yeah, I don't want that disappointment, that superhero disappointment, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I did I drove a Huracan and it
Okay.
was really cool,
Yeah.
but it was almost like
It should be better.
it should be better. It's weird.
Yeah.
It was a weird
Hmm.
letdown almost, or disconnect
Right.
in a weird way.
Yeah.
Do you
Not to say I would not like to own one because
Yeah.
they're so sick. I mean,
Yeah.
they're cool looking.
do
Absolutely.
you get the same feeling when driving a Ferrari?
Ferraris are weird too because Ferraris have a more finesse
Mhm.
to them, where Lamborghinis are much more raw and like
Yeah.
heavy power.
Yeah.
And you can tell the difference when you're driving between them.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's kind of interesting with those. I don't know, like, what about like those super rare, like the SLS or Mercedes or things like that. Like
SLR.
yeah, something like a CLK.
CLK.
No.
What? CLK GTR?
Yeah, CLK. Yeah, okay, right.
Yeah.
I was thinking about something else.
The
But
AMG
yeah,
GTR.
something like that. Those things are super cool, very interesting.
Yeah.
I'm kind of going through.
Just so you know, David.
Like, so I have...
That's a CLK.
Right, yeah, that car.
Which one? Let me see.
Check that thing out.
Yeah.
That's that's what you find in Dubai.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah. I mean, those things are rare, too.
Super rare, yeah.
Rare.
We don't have one in the house?
Yeah. No,
Okay.
not right now.
Okay, not right now.
Yeah.
Or like I don't know, maybe like a Bugatti or something would be cool. Who
Mhm.
knows?
Yeah. That raw. I mean, like, F40 is one of mine.
Yeah, F40.
Just would love to drive that car.
Yeah.
I have experience driving McLaren. And in stock form, it's okay. Yeah,
Right.
I mean, it's a fun car, don't get me wrong. But once we did some modifications to it, now it performs like you expect a supercar to perform.
There you go.
But
Yeah.
in stock form, you're like, it leaves a little to be desired. I mean, it's super
Yeah.
quick in a straight line, but it doesn't steer real well. And
My
that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
my teacher, Tim, told me that he drove your guys' McLaren once.
Yes.
And he says you can never buy talent.
No,
But he
you
said
cannot.
with that McLaren, you just might. It
Well,
messed after driving that. It
he
took him
was-
like a couple months to get back and drive.
Sorry,
his car,
Tim,
right?
but you were a mess in that car.
Yeah.
I forget about McLaren.
Yeah.
McLarens are cool.
hmm
And that's one car I've never driven.
Conan,
So yeah.
Koenigsegg or
Yeah, something like those.
Koenigsegg.
Yeah. I don't know. They're like some of the new ones to me are so overly electronic and
Yeah.
There's so
too
much car.
so much turbo and so much.
Yeah.
Electric.
They're cool. I really like the way they look,
Right.
but I'm afraid I'd be
It takes-
disappointed in how they drive.
The
Absolutely.
driving experience out and makes it just
Little bit.
more computerized.
Yeah,
That's what I'm worried about with the newer Ferraris, and I keep
Right.
hearing from people. It's not like the classics where you're putting input as a driver.
right.
You know, it's like, oh, you're about to go off the track,
Like
so now kicks in.
A
and-
real manual transmission
Yeah.
makes you feel more connected. Where the new stuff, you can feel the twin or triple disc clutch and they're so touchy. And,
Yeah.
kind of weird, but you know. Anyway,
So
I don't know. You still haven't really come up with one. I haven't heard like
the car.
or even
Yeah.
you know.
It's also fiction
Short
cars
list.
like Batmobile.
Short list for sure, McLaren. Like, let's just,
Okay.
let's throw those on there because I
Okay.
forgot about McLaren. I don't know why I forgot
Yeah.
about McLaren. GT3 RS.
Oh yeah.
Very good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean,
I got to drive a GT3, not the RS.
Oh,
but
yeah.
yeah, and that's a different car.
it's a different
yeah.
car.
Yeah.
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 That I think
You
has got to be
really-
on the list. That's
You
probably
really
first.
noticed that motor hanging out over
Right?
the back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Just push
yeah.
all day. And as a third, I don't know. Maybe like a crazy Bugatti or something just because.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just for the
Koenigsegg, like I said,
experience.
just because, just to say you did it.
That
No,
you did,
no
yeah.
older. There'd be no older cars, David.
Something
Old
in
cars,
something in a
like
straight
like a
line that goes
classic-
300 miles an hour.
Nothing in the dirt. Come on.
Yeah.
Not everybody's
A
a dirt
monster
guy.
truck. You know, I've
Yeah.
driven a fire truck before.
Really?
Okay.
There you
I've-
That's
go.
cool.
Which was pretty badass. I've driven a cop car. I've driven a,
Did you get to turn the lights on?
I was on a
Nice.
closed course
All right.
in a police car.
All right.
It was a Ford Explorer or whatever they are.
Yeah.
That's boss.
And I had a motorcycle cop tailing me, and I had a 6'4" lady cop sitting next to me telling me to go faster.
Oh, I love it.
And if I didn't hear the wheels screeching around the turn, we'd had to do another lap.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's
It was
so cool.
Such a satisfying day.
So
oh my
what was
gosh.
the event? What was this for?
I did an emergency services day
Okay.
for the city of Hillsborough,
Oh, wow.
and it was nothing short of awesome.
Where did you get to do this?
Wow.
It was at Ron Tonkin Stadium.
Really?
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
and we
Oh,
had
wow.
a cone course set up in the parking lot,
Playing autocross.
Yeah.
playing autocross with
Yeah.
cop cars.
That's
That's
awesome.
Yeah, and then we got to drive a fire truck, which was epic. Because I mean, like,
That's
what
amazing.
little
Yeah.
kid, I forgot all about this. Yeah,
We
I'm
need
glad we
to
brought
do
this
this,
up.
guys.
Yeah.
Oh, it sounds so good.
Yeah, I've literally driven everything.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so when you give me a short list, I couldn't really come up with anything.
Right. I froze.
I froze, yeah. And then on top of that, we shot guns in the afternoon. So it was
Oh,
awesome.
that's
What a
cool.
day.
And we used the Jaws of Life.
Oh my
Really?
gosh.
Yeah. I mean, all the like cool macho things.
Wow.
Where
Yeah.
has this
What a
event
day.
been all my life?
Right?
Yeah.
We need to
I
do
will
this.
hook you guys up.
Okay.
It's a sweet thing.
That
Nice.
sounds
Yeah.
awesome.
Nice.
That's pretty incredible. All right. So we pulled some stuff out of you.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
Yeah, there we
that's
go.
cool. All right. So for you personally, what car is a hard no?
Hard no.
Hard no.
Like
somebody's handing you the keys. Here you go. Just drive it. Yeah. And you're like, nope.
It would have to be cheap, but like a Prowler.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Those are horrible.
I love it.
That car is the worst car ever.
That car has come up before. That's great.
It is the worst car. Or
honestly, I love this question.
Yeah, the Prowler for sure.
Yeah.
Or the HHR.
Yes.
Why'd they make that thing?
That is so funny.
Give me a break. Like, the PT Cruiser needed competition.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Let me ask you something about the HHR. Have any of you ever seen one in bad condition?
No.
Oh, yes.
They're always dialed in.
They're always pristine.
Yeah, and
red.
And the guy who owns it has a ponytail.
Really? I've never seen a white one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only ever seen red ones. Never seen any other color.
I feel like I've seen like a dark blue one once.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
but they're always pristine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think the one I saw was blue, and it was a shit box. It was like...
I've never...
and it was a ponytail guy.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Ponytail guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Pretty sure he lived in a trailer somewhere.
Oh, yeah. But he's got an HHR.
But he had an HHR.
Hell yeah. That's cool. Okay. So same question on a professional level. Somebody brings in this car to your lot, wants to trade it in, and you just have to say no. What is it?
Salvage title.
Yep.
Ooh,
we don't touch salvage title stuff.
That's fair.
Okay.
But is there a car
but like an actual car?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
It would have to be like a highly modified, like something PT Cruiser or something of that effect. Yeah, HHR, same deal.
So, but if it's not modified, it's just regular old car, you'll take it. You just be like,
usually, here's the deal. There's a number for everything.
What about
the other day? I took in on trade a 300,000 mile Toyota Camry that could be confused for an ashtray.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know,
but you gave him a number.
Yeah, I mean, it was like $300. It went to the scrapyard. It went away. It was fine.
Yeah.
But but if she thought it was worth $1,500 or more or whatever, it just was a moot point.
Right.
Yeah. So that, I guess, everything has a number.
What about if it was like on the opposite end, something like super expensive, like a $30 million car?
I mean, you could shop that, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be a buyer for something like that.
Yeah.
Or even, maybe not even like a $150,000 car.
If I can give them $50,000 for it, and make $1 million.
Right. So, I guess at the end of the day, what's the money?
Right.
You know, if it's worth X and I can buy it for lower, let's go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Would you broker that sale for him though?
I would try. Yeah.
Yeah.
I never just leave something without trying. I think that's important because if there's an opportunity, why miss it?
What about cars that have like either known services that are a pain in the butt or like issues? So like for example, like Ferraris they have to have engine outs at like 15,000 or 15,000 miles every 3 years, and someone's trying to trade in or give you one that's right at that limit. Is that still like a hard no, or be like these are our stipulations?
Well, like he said, there's a number on it.
There's a number, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. He knows that's coming, so this is what that service costs, and we're going to have to do it.
They know it.
Yeah, they know it.
And they, know, or they should know, or they'll find out when you give them that number.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then the look on their face will tell you the rest.
Yeah. I guess we don't have a deal then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Does it end in a handshake?
HHR is pristine.
Yeah. How are we rolling?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think that's really what it's all about.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So unless you guys got anything else for David, I got the last question.
Do it.
I mean, I'm always full of questions, but I can't think of one right now.
Really? We've stumped Grant.
Let's go.
Mark this.
I gotta know, David. What is, because we've talked about like cars you take keys and blah blah. What's the coolest movie car in your opinion? Like the coolest thing that was on a TV show or movie?
Do not say Jurassic Park.
Obviously.
Too late.
Thank you.
He
was like, trying to lead you down that road.
There's like KITT. There's the A-Team. Like, what sticks in your mind is the coolest thing?
Oh my gosh!
Ghostbusters? Like what? What?
That's a valid question.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably one of the Batmobiles, maybe, or
then which one
like
sticks in your mind? Is it the old one, the Michael Keaton
way
one,
up
the Tumbler?
there.
Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah, the Tumbler, but the Keaton one is really cool too.
Yeah, that one's iconic, really.
It really is.
Yeah.
Like, Derek always says every time he sees a C3 that it reminds him of that. And it does. Mm-hmm. It looks, I don't know what chassis they built it on, but it looks like a C3.
Probably was,
jet
yeah.
engine, stuck in the middle of it.
Something like that, yeah.
But
that's a hard question.
I know.
Actually. It is a little bit, but
there's like the
Miami Vice.
Okay.
The white.
Let's go.
The white Testarossa.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty iconic, right? Like the
Bad Boys 911.
I think my favorite would be Burt Reynolds.
Oh, and the Trans Am.
Yeah. Yep.
And then there's
78 Firebird.
Don't forget, there's the Cannonball Run with the Countach with the 12.
Oh yeah.
See, I'm not.
Yeah, the white Countach.
I'm not super excited about the Countach like you are.
That's a car I would like to drive.
I would like to drive a real
Countach.
Yeah.
Not the Grant Fiberglass,
exactly.
MR2,
Pontiac, whatever.
Fiero. The Fiero.
Yeah.
That was a cool experience digging that car up.
Fiero Bow.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, David, I need help pushing a car into a trailer. Can you help me? The hell?
Please do tell the story. Please do.
Please tell us.
All right. I get a call, 3 p.m. What are you doing tonight? I don't know. It's Wednesday. Going to go home and eat dinner with my wife and my kids. Could you come help me? I need to go to an old lady's house. She's giving me a car. What? Get here. Sweet old lady.
Yeah.
Effectively gives him a car. Doesn't run. We have to spin it 180 in a single car garage, barely bigger than the room we're in.
Yeah.
So we literally jack it up, have to spin it around. All the tires are flat.
Mm-hmm.
Figure that out. He needs my help for 20 minutes per the phone call.
Yeah.
Just push it in. No big deal.
Yeah.
I believe it was midnight when I rolled into my house.
We had to
My wife was pissed.
We had to back down that hill driveway, get it through.
Why
we had
did
to
you
tape
spin
off
the car?
because it wouldn't fit the other way. We found out because
It's too
it's
wide.
so wide.
For the trailer.
In the trailer?
Yeah.
A red trailer. Yeah.
It would go between the wheel wells.
Had to go
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
And so we had it all the way to the back of the trailer, just barely
touching in.
Oh, yeah. Super dangerous.
Yeah.
Pushing this thing in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Made it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Grant has a new project.
I don't know how I was on the
Now
text
Grant has an
chain
old project.
that car was for sale. I don't know how I ended up on that text chain.
Should
but
be.
I was. And I was just like, yeah, I'll buy that instantly. But apparently maybe that was the wrong decision.
It wasn't the wrong decision. It was just a project that needed love. I gave it love.
Still needs love.
Yeah.
It's going to need love when you push it into the trailer to take it somewhere else.
I know Jeremy said, Rob, you need to see it though. Like and David, I know you saw it probably about a year ago, but for what I've done to that, I haven't worked in it about a year, but I've done from when we got it from the garage to now. It's amazing from it should run soon, but when it ran and the welding of the frame and doing everything else, it's pretty impressive how that car underneath is. Body-wise, about the same, but yeah.
It's kind of fun sitting in it. I mean, it's like a funky little car. I mean, it's pretty interesting.
It feels like you're in like a
cockpit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just so low to the ground and the windows rake back up and you just assume there's like a button for the machine gun somewhere, It's just...
You could make that happen.
Well,
put a paintball machine gun in there.
Yeah,
awesome.
If you had kids, you could just pull all the shit out of it, park it to be like a fun thing to play in.
Yeah.
Yeah. But instead, you've got a money pit.
Briggs and Stratton in the back of it.
Exactly. Yeah, there you go.
It's not been actually not been that bad of a money pit. I think total I've gotten to is probably about $1,500. I've got hours into it, but I've learned so much working on that car, and that's valuable to me.
Yeah.
You know?
Still, real Countach would be much better.
Way better. Yeah.
That's...
I know when you saw that, though, David, your eyes were so big. Seeing that, you're like, whoa.
Where am I at?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I realized where I was at.
Yeah. After hours of trying to move this car.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Got paid in Del Taco.
Yeah.
Well, at least you got that.
Yeah.
At least he fed you.
We couldn't get pizza and beer. We were driving that night.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you owe him some more Del Taco.
Let's go.
Man. Okay. We ready?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, then. What's the coolest car-related thing you've seen this week?
I already went.
So, David, you're up then, or do you want me to go? Rob.
If you're ready.
Okay. So I saw this week on Facebook, I was just going through Mustang forums, and I found someone who made a Mustang, my year Mustang, jacked up on giant tires and looks like just a gambler car.
That's off-road.
It's off-road, yeah. I'm going to see if I can pull it back
They
up.
put it on a four-wheel drive frame?
What color is it?
It's silver. Here, let me pull it up.
No,
hang
I
on.
haven't seen that one. I
You
swear
you
I've
knew
seen
this
the
was
red
coming.
one.
You could have been prepped.
I had it. I showed David
Good
earlier.
grief.
Oh, found it. Here we go. Look at this. Let me pull
The preparation for
It
this
was
show.
one of the 30
Look at
open
this.
tabs he
No,
has.
and I don't think it's built on the 4x4 frame.
No, it doesn't look like it. It's just lifted with big tires.
Yeah.
That's
That's
kinda
pretty cool.
Yeah, it is
You
pretty
know?
cool.
That's AI.
I've seen some Corvettes done like that, too.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen, or Camaros.
Camaros, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's very Mad Max.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Like,
Yeah.
I kind
like
of
it.
want to build
That'd
one
be
of these
fun.
for the gambler.
That would be fun.
That'd be so much
Actually,
fun.
that's... How much can you get
I
one
mean,
of those for?
You can get like a V6.
I
messed
sent
up
you that one for
five-
like $1,800.
Yeah.
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 So we
Actually, that's not a bad
we
idea.
should do that. Can we do that, please?
You've got a ghost car to build first.
Okay, and then
Yeah.
can we do that?
You've
Yes.
got like
Yes.
20
No,
car projects
He
going.
does. He does.
Get rid of the Lambo, finish the Fiat, and finish Ghost
Car. Yeah. Oh yeah, David, you haven't heard about the ghost car. We'll tell you
We're
later
not-
about it.
We're
Yeah.
not telling him now.
Yeah, I don't think we have any updates. So I should also preface this. Typically, I like the coolest thing you've seen in the week to be a real live, not on the online.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
But some days it doesn't happen.
Yeah,
Like
okay.
you run across something online, you're just like, "Well, that's the coolest thing I've seen this week." So that's what it is.
Well, I've seen some other things in person. I just thought that out of the things I've seen in person versus that was the coolest thing.
Okay, well,
You
yeah,
know.
that's what you got.
That is pretty
That's
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
Will you click on that first tab?
Yes.
Right.
Okay, so
'Cause that's
Rob's
my
been.
cool-
Oh yeah, you said you've had this.
No. I just brought it up because I
Okay.
saw this week in 1949.
Whoa.
Oldsmobile 88.
Yeah.
That's
rod.
That thing
dope.
is sick.
Yeah. So
You'd take that on trade, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah. That's a
Keep
keep.
that.
That's a keep.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
saw that driving down the road. I pulled up next to him. I'm just checking this car out. Oh, it's so awesome.
You saw that on the road?
Yeah.
That's so
Driving
cool.
right next to
No
it.
way.
I have another one. I don't know what it was.
Yeah. So I was, and it was the Futurematic or something had the logo on the side
Yeah.
of the car. Anyway.
Nice.
But yeah, this guy's just tooling, he's smoking a cigar, he's going to a car show or something.
Just-
and it's all lowered and chopped and
Formatted.
yes.
Formatic, yeah.
Well, yeah, something like that.
That's cool.
That's
Yeah,
so
super
pretty of a
cool.
car and
Super
so-
Yeah.
cool. 49 Oldsmobile
Was it that
88.
color, the silver? Or
No,
was
it was like a seafoam blue.
Ooh.
Nice.
It was gorgeous. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
This last
big old white
Sunday,
walls.
I was driving my brother's 67 VW Buzz,
Nice.
which is fully restored,
Yeah.
and that thing was pretty tight.
Yeah.
That'd probably be the coolest thing I did all week.
Is that the blue and white one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one we
Have you
talked
I've
seen
about.
seen
that?
it. I
Yeah.
haven't seen it. Yeah.
Thing's rad.
It is awesome.
Took me, because I drive it so infrequently,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it takes a little bit of getting used to, but once you're used to it,
Yeah.
because it's a little sketchy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't really want to go
You're
over
sitting,
40.
You're sitting in front of the wheels.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
And
yeah.
it's a school bus steering wheel.
Right.
Yeah.
Straight up and down.
And the 4-speed manual transmission is real sloppy.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Grant, you need to fix that.
I
We
know I
need
do.
that.
Tighten
I'd
your
like
thing
some
up.
better brakes and ultimately a motor.
I can
Is
do all
it,
that.
yeah.
Talk to Brian about that.
Is it drum brakes?
I have no idea, but
Probably.
it's Barney Rubble is what it is.
No.
Oh, yeah.
So I saw that. I was actually on the road behind it.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I was going to Grant's house, and I get to Grant's house. I'm like, dude, I just saw this cool Volkswagen bus. And he's like, oh, I know who that is.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah.
Riding dirty.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So what?
I backed into a spot.
You
at
backed into a
Ace
car?
Hardware
Yeah.
the other day. We
Yeah.
ran in, grabbed some hardware, came out. Right next to me was this old, 30s, 40s car.
Uh-huh.
When I came out, he was pulling out of the parking lot
Nice.
and hit the Ooga horn at me.
Oh, that's
that's
funny.
cool.
Yeah, I was gawking, and he goes, "Wooga!" I'm like,
That's funny.
"Yes,
Oh,
That's
cool.
awesome.
One of the originals.
Yep,
Yeah,
that
that's
was
pretty
That
cool.
was pretty cool.
Right on.
Mhm.
Well, gentlemen, thank you.
Yeah.
What a great night. David, thanks for coming. Really
Thanks for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
Yeah.
This was a lot of fun.
It is a good time. I appreciate you being here.
Do you have any shout outs you want to give?
Any shout outs I want to
I know,
give?
like
D'Angelo
Instagram and
Auto,
D'Angelo.
Yeah,
right?
follow me on Instagram at D'Angelo Auto.
Mhm.
There you
Check
go.
out my website, D'AngeloAuto.com. And
Perfect.
yeah,
Yeah.
we appreciate all the opportunity.
Yep. Spread the word. For our listeners, please hit follow on that podcast. Love to hear from you guys too. If you want to email us at untitledcarproject@gmail.com
Woo.
or use the same thing for our Discord or Messenger, whatever. Hit us up. We've got a few people hitting us up with messages. We've got a group now on Facebook. People are starting to post their hot rod projects and stuff.
So
it's
cool.
It's really cool to see it. Yeah. I know things are spreading out there. We're getting listeners across the country, actually across the world. We've got other countries that are repeat listeners,
really?
so that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That is cool.
Yep. UK, Australia, Canada. Yeah,
Nice.
it's kind of neat to see, and we appreciate it. So thanks everybody.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. Talk to you later.